Hello Twitch chat, how the devil are we today? Welcome back for a very, very exciting day of games today. It is your August Nova Cup finals, and with me I've got two very special guest casters. It is Offma and the beautiful Scovtroll down at the bottom there. I believe Offma had the title Beautiful yesterday, but Scovtroll, I mean, come on.
That truly is a beautiful
Yeah,
man.
the title just goes to the handsomest guy on the panel, which, it's normally Offma, but today, Scottrod, I think you take the biscuit, dude. That hairdo, that shirt combo, man. If I wasn't married, whew.
Yeah.
So,
You say
guys,
the shirt is nice, you should see without it.
whoa! Oh, you devil! But guys, we've got some pretty cool games today. So for the first semi-final, we're going to be casting Abraceit versus Rampampam. So that is Kingdans and Widdowson against Fine and Pavided. I've been reliably informed by my Polish friends that Pavided is the correct pronunciation, so hopefully I've got that one right. But yeah, this is going to be a pretty cool match, I think. So Kingdans and Widdowson, obviously no introductions needed. They are possibly the most gloried teams in Legion TD2 history. They've won a ton of Nova Cups. They're permanently at the top of the ladder, although they have had a little bit of a break in recent months. They're back now. They're smurfing their way up the ladder, and we saw them demolish their competition yesterday. They didn't lose a single game, Offmer. Is that right?
Yeah. And they took down some of the new kids in the group stage, and now they have a little matchup with another team of new kids. Although Fine has definitely been playing in Nova Cups, just not seeing him in the Div 1 games until now, but he clearly made an entrance.
Yeah, so Fine and his teammate Gepennen, they were playing in Division 2 quite a lot. I think they won there more than once. I'm not entirely sure how many times, but they have a
Five
few
times.
5-time Division 2 winners. Okay, that's pretty impressive
That's
stuff.
an impressive feat.
Yeah, I knew he'd won a couple, but 5, man, that's really good. And then he's changed around his teammate. He's got Pavided instead of Gepennen now, and they've made their way up to Division 1. And that's a result of some very impressive ladder climbing by both of those guys. I know Fine has broken a 3k peak. I think Pavided either hit 3k himself or at least was very, very close to that. So these guys have just been playing really, really good Legion lately, on and off the ladder. And it's just really cool to see them here in the semi-finals of the August Nova Cup. So this is going to be a pretty cool match. I probably still have to give the edge to Team Abraceit just because, they have such a tournament pedigree together and have been on really good form so far this month. But I would love to see what Fine and Pavided have to show for us today.
Yeah, I watched some of their VODs from yesterday on Shadow Wings channel, and they play pretty solid stuff. Like, I didn't see anything, too crazy, like some super sick lines that they're taking, but pretty solid gameplay all around. And I mean, beating Adamas and Trubis is definitely not an easy thing, so that's pretty impressive from them.
Yeah, so they've actually knocked the sweaty tryhards out of the competition, right? So that's your countrymen there, Scovtrold, have been sent packing, or Chuvas at least, and
You was not my countryman, you was Norwegian.
ah,
That was the whole deal with our Legion in-house league team back in the day.
of course. What was it? Remind me again. Kalmar.
It was the Kalmar minus Sweethearts.
Yeah. Quality. Love a Legion team name with a little bit of history slapped in there. So, Offma, can you tell me what kind of gameplay can we expect from these two teams today?
Yeah, I mean, Witter and King, you'll probably see a bit more mastermind diversity. They have a pretty wide range that they're willing to play. Although we saw Witterson pretty much sticking to Cash Out and Fiesta yesterday, and King Dan sticking to Cartel and Chaos.
Mhm.
And on the other hand, Fine and Poeted, they basically only play Greed and Cartel between the two of them. They literally just swap back and forth once they win, which is pretty standard stuff. And on the ladder, that's pretty much what they play as well. Although Fine does play a lot of yellow on ladder, especially when he reached his 3k peak. That was what he was spamming. It would be pretty exciting to see him play it in Nova, I will say. But
Yeah.
so far, sticking to the simple stuff and just trying to play some Legion. No real tricks in there. And they don't really play like Giga Starvey. We saw that from Tuplama and Johnny C. They played super one way, they just Giga Starve you, get some king damage, Gigastar View try and win the game. Fine and Poeted, they play kind of like just a chiller income game. They obviously skipping waves, but mostly sending income and looking for some bigger leaks in the mid game and less so in the early game.
Okay, that's really interesting. Thank you for the very concise summary there, Offner. That was brilliant. Yeah, I would definitely love to see, as you say, Fine pick up a YOLO in the tournament today. It's always risky, though, isn't it, when you're on the main stage like this? Because when there's everything
YOLO
to play
is YOLO,
for,
right?
exactly. Like you can just get a pretty decent roll, and then you have the benefits of the extra income, and you can just snowball. But you can also just roll like 6 tier 6s and have a completely unplayable game. So it's really, really risky to pick that up in a tournament setting. But nevertheless, I would love to see it happen today. You have to take a risk to win these games sometimes, especially if one team happens to feel that they're maybe a little bit unfavoured. And to be fair to Fine and Parvided, they're excellent players, but they are probably unfavoured against Kingdowns and Widdowson. I don't think that's any shame against them to say something like that. So maybe they just go for a bit of a more risky playstyle. They feel they don't have so much to lose, so they just take these big gambles. If they pay off, maybe they can win a couple of games, and if it doesn't, then they were unfavoured anyway. So I kind of think that high risk, high reward strategy is the right option for these guys in this kind of matchup.
Yeah, I wonder also, I saw it last month from Boedid. He played with a different teammate, but he whipped out the Fiesta in one of his games, and I was very surprised because I don't think I've ever seen him play it on ladder, but maybe he's holding back some cards to reveal here in the day 2. Hopefully. That would be very spicy.
The Parvided hidden strats.
Yeah.
And Sculptrold, our resident Chaos Master, do we expect to see any Chaos pickups today?
I mean, we always expect to see Chaos. It's funny that you say it's funny you say that I'm Chaos, resident Chaos player. I don't know when the last time I played Chaos was. I know it's probably my most played playstyle in the season, but I haven't played it in a couple of months.
He's a changed man.
I'm a changed man, yeah.
But nevertheless, you've played Chaos more than either myself and Offmer because we have self-respect. So,
wow. I think Chaos is actually my highest win rate mastermind.
Damn it, Offmer!
Damn
it, Offmer! I trusted you.
I kind of have been, I've been playing horribly with Chaos lately. I don't know the games. I'm just not lucky enough, I guess.
Yeah, nice luck. Anyway, guys, we have got a lobby available, so let's see if our players are ready. And then we can get things on the way. But yeah, Sculptrod, so just back on the banging the Chaos hammer. Kingdans is no stranger to Chaos himself, right? We've seen him pick that up. Oh, he
likes it.
He likes it. We've seen him pick it up a lot in Nova Cups before. So if he does that, I'm going to need you to be the guy who's explaining what he's doing and why, because I haven't got a clue when it comes to Chaos.
I mean, whenever Kingdans is doing something, you think I have a clue. If I had a clue, I'd be as good as Kingdans, right?
Fair point, yeah.
We'll start with the assumption he did the right thing and then work backwards to figure
out more. That's usually safe to do that way around when you're talking about Kingdans. Alright, it looks like the players are ready, guys, so we should be about to get the show on the road.
It is Kingdan's slowest starter in the West, though.
It is. He's devoting all of his brain power to winning Legion games and none of it to pressing the start button. But guys, here we go. The August Nova Cup semi-finals are about to begin. We have Abrasiet on the left. That is Kingdans and Widdowson. They are up against Fine and Parvided on the right-hand side, making up team Ram Pam Pam. So here we go. Game number 1. Let's get it on.
Oh my god, it's 1939 all over again.
Holy moly. I'm glad you got that one out of the way, Sculptrold.
I am here for the random history facts. Or history reference, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, Greed, Cartel.
And what is Widder gonna do?
I'd love to see a Fiesta here from Widdowson.
Yeah. Start us off with something fresh.
Something spicy.
I mean, he was playing in his match history. He had Cash Out and Fiesta, so it could be a Fiesta.
What do you guys think about these Legion spells then? It is a cash out, okay.
That's a cash out.
Pretty boring.
Well,
but, Embargo.
We're
is
not gonna
nice.
see us send 11, right? Well, we could. Obviously, the game can turn out in a way that favors an 11 cent, or it could just be income because of the 2 cartels.
Yeah.
But it's risky, right, when you have just 3 economy spells and no aggressive spells?
Yeah, but you might just do the 11 cent for income to balance out the cartel, and then you can save until 15 or something.
True. Okay,
Yeah,
we have
the mid game. It's gonna be crazy.
We have the
Probably-
builds started here from Fine and Pavided. We have a Gatling gun in lane 3 and an Archer Peewee build in lane 4. Kingdan's with the Gate Guard, so he's got the worker advantage already on wave 1. And Widdowson, the slowest player to pick his mastermind and choose his role so far. He's got 7 seconds left.
He doesn't need any more.
He goes for a Green Devil.
And an angler
And
behind.
an Angler. That's a very slow start from Widdowson.
Well, he does like his anglers. I just saw it's his most played opener.
Yeah, that is true.
And he does sport a 70+% win rate with him as an opener. So he definitely knows what he's doing with him.
Yep. And Angler is still even the change didn't really affect Angler without Steed. It's still just as good in my opinion.
But way
and-
better with Steed.
Yeah. Just gives you some more flexibility if you do happen to have mana generation. Obviously not the case this game. But his role is pretty clean. Has like a pretty easy game plan.
He's got the Infiltrator for 6, he got the Avenger for 13, so he's gonna be nice and safe on the Angler's weak waves.
And the Sea Serpent Deep Coiler as well really fills out that role. I feel like it's very good on wave 7 and 8, where Bounty Hunter's pretty weak otherwise. And just in the later game as well, it snipes out those 4-eye sends that people are going to want to send into your big Kingpin, into your big Sovereign. So yeah, I really like Widdowson's role here.
Yeah. And he spent all the time that he had. It was proper resource management, right? No need to rush out or build and then sit for 50 seconds doing nothing.
Well, time is a resource as well, right?
But we did greeting pretty nicely. 6 workers, even pre-building for next with 2 howlers instead of 3 peewees.
How's he going to do against the double snail here? Is he ever in danger of leaking?
Not against double snail. A triple snail? No, not even a triple snail actually, I think.
Yeah, he should be fine. I mean, funny things can happen with AoE units. Or,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, Howlers are
multi-target
very
units,
bad on
but-
wave 3, right? Especially when they're attacking separate targets like this. So that's 70 gold that's worth about 30.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh, but the
possible.
damage isn't that big, great. But the he is.
Oh, he is going for a
Really?
bit of a leak there. 67%
Oh, that's-
Pavided.
Wow, we did not
It's
see
a
that
bit
coming.
worse than you want, but
Yeah. I think Fine is not able to fully cover this either. Oh wait, I spoke too soon.
Oh wait,
The gun is just
You-
shredding those low
I
HP hoppers.
underestimate the gun on early waves.
Yeah. But Widdowson's receiving
so
a
far-
dino here on wave 4.
yeah,
So far, we
luckily-
just show that we have no idea what's going on in this game.
I mean, standard, right? But I
Yeah.
love this dino send here from Fine, hoping to catch Widdowson, upgrading the Bounty Hunter here, which is just, it absolutely demolishes the Bounty Hunter, right? But Widdowson actually going for the Sea Serpent instead should be able to perform a decent bit better.
And a fully boosted infiltrator, is he gonna hit? Oh, he sent a snail! You
Oh,
don't send a
so the Infiltrator's straight on that dino, all of the shurikens hitting it, dealing some decent damage against that dino. Probably the only way he had any chance of killing the thing.
Yeah, I mean, he had the Green Devil on the left, so I can kind of understand why he didn't want to send the dino left, but as it turns out, Widdowson has a good plan for it.
Yep.
But it's still going to be a baby leak.
I think he's
Yeah,
leaking
Or-
one creep.
One creep.
Well, that's
It's pretty acceptable.
that's a
what
100
we call it,
Mythium
the leak.
cent. Oh yeah,
Actually, Fine greeting super hard now with the gun, which is completely
Yeah.
reasonable with these units.
What's he doing
To
here?
sell 3 bonies. Oh man. But he gets rewarded at the end here.
With a boost a couple of times again.
yeah. I mean, talking about 9 workers, guys. Look at Kingdans and Widdowson. They're both on 9 as
Oh.
well.
Yeah, I mean,
Heavy
King's Roll
worker
is
game.
So good.
Once again, once again, I say, King going with 2 gate guards.
Yeah, it's insanely strong. Just the early game value of gate guard is just incredible. Like in wave 6, like 2 gate guards, it's like very, very hard to leak someone there. And it doesn't overcommit you into a harp for wave 8 or anything.
And with the Steed as well, they're just pumping out those doggos, so that's an easy hold there for King. Widdowson, he looks like he's leaking
Gets a
2 creeps and a snail.
and a snail.
And everybody else is holding their income sends. So we've got 10 workers apiece for King Dans and Parvided, and we've got 9 workers on Widdowson and Fine. This is a pretty high tempo game so far.
Yeah. Everyone sending a lot of income every wave, and here we have a Triad send trying to catch Fine greeting. He didn't push a single worker to that send on 5 like a smart boy, because he has 9 workers already, and now he gets the Orchid out.
I mean, that's just perfect for him. So King Dan sending this -3 income brute here on wave 6, and Fine is going to be pretty rewarded here for not pushing a worker to the send on 5.
Yeah, pretty intelligent stuff. He's going to try a full send versus Widdowson as well, but Widder also not over pushing, grabbing the deep coiler here.
Oh, so Widdowson's going to
Should
be
be okay.
completely fine, I think. So let's just check out Fine's lane. His gun is dying very quickly there,
Oh,
but the Orchid can kind of smurf on the wave all by itself.
Yeah,
yeah, but once he's gonna get the brute and the 2, it's like,
looks like a small leak, but I think
Yeah,
he's okay
30
with that. It's a
33%.
-3 for a cartel player.
yeah, that's perfectly fine.
And he also leaks Widdowson 1 creep with income, so I think
Oh,
he's okay
interesting.
with that.
I thought Widdowson was going to be totally fine against the 80 send there, but no. That's
Yeah,
that's
with
really good.
The new wave 6 makes deep coiler a bit worse on that wave because it doesn't split tank until the end, where it's tanking a bunch of those Rockos with the stacking damage debuff. So it can actually not win out versus the Rockos.
Alright, now we have Widdowson sending a Dino here on wave 7 into Parvided, but I think that's just an income send only.
That's
He's,
just income.
he's not going to get any
he's
leaks
good.
done here.
He's
Wait,
going for
he had
full
the
income.
snail.
Interesting. So he's maybe expecting Parvided to just shift a lot of gold here to get the Trinity Archer on 8, maybe? But
Well,
Parvided
okay.
just added a veteran and a Peewee, so he's going to be completely fine.
And there's another snail at the end. I'm
Interesting.
surprised they didn't save a bit more for a 9 send, but I guess that's too telegraphed already. Like,
Yeah.
with the gun and the archer from the start. So you're just gonna build anti-9.
9 send is kind
Yeah.
of rough as well into gate guards, right? Because Harbinger is just such an absolute
Yeah.
monster on that wave.
It's going to
Yeah,
be a
once you
small
see-
leak, but I think he'll be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, 48%. Yeah, meanwhile, it's a long wave while Fine is sending full against Widdowson here on wave 8. Widdowson, I mean, if he just upgrades that Bounty Hunter into a Kingpin, he's going to be more than fine.
Is
Yeah,
he
I
gonna be
think-
happy about that though?
Yeah, I think 72 stacks, that's pretty okay. I think that's like about the same as an old 100 stack.
Thereabout, yeah,
Kingpin.
thereabout.
Yeah. I feel like he should be just happy to take it so he can start pushing.
I think any other
Yeah.
play from Widdowson here is just too greedy, honestly. Yeah, he does. He takes
Yeah.
the
Yeah, he
Kingpin.
goes for it.
And he's going to be really rewarded now because he'll hold this send easily and he'll just be able to full push the worker button.
Yeah, and King is pretty undervalued here and also getting a Triad send.
Yep.
So him covering this is also fine. I'm not even sure if King needs it, to be honest, but if his Deep Coiler gets turned on, then he will need it.
Oh, clutch heal there from the Pilgrim, keeping itself alive. Now the Mole goes down. King is just completely fine, I think. Another heal. Maybe a small leak, but yeah, Widdowson, of course,
That's
easily
gonna
holding.
be a 40% league, 50% league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It is 50%, 58% on the King. So Widdowson, good presence of mind there with the Kingpin. And Fine is holding a 200 try-hard send of his own, by the way. So
Yeah.
pretty good
Pretty
trade,
nice
actually,
stuff
for Fine and Parvided.
I don't even know if he boosted or not, because his value number looks like pretty normal. But
And he's at
yeah,
930 now, so
he's
we'll see.
super undervalued. Oh, he did boost a little bit.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he went to 920.
All right.
So now the Kingpin is going to get a small worker lead.
Interesting that he has the 3 plus room, and he hasn't set it up for a big regions room.
It's a lot weaker. We saw it yesterday. Green also overgreeded with the combo and just leaked huge to income on 8.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a
lot weaker since the
lot.
change.
It's a lot more balanced since the change. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and here's a full resend, the classic like Cannoneer Brute or Dino Brute on 9.
Mhm.
I mean, the damage of the Orchid is dead pretty much instantly, and he is killing quite a bit.
Yeah, but
I think he leaks like the Cannoneer and the Brute for sure.
And
it's like
two.
2 creeps. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a bad resend considering he's on value.
Pretty solid stuff. But I think Fine, once again, is completely happy to leak 48% here against a full send from King
Yeah.
Dance.
I think both players are happy with the outcome, surprisingly.
Yep.
And
Kind
it's
of a
gonna be
neutral trade.
Triad Sun now.
So Widdowson with the Ogre into Pavided's lane. What is his
Wow.
answer going to be? Of course, a Trinity Archer. But the Ogre's really good against Trinity Archer
Yeah.
builds, right? Because it just soaks so many of those split-shot arrows.
it really does.
Fairly
And
surprised that they save here.
He doesn't really have much anything else that's good for this wave. I mean, sure the Sunfang is decent, but it's just a tier 2 unit.
Now, Fine,
So
he
it's not-
should do just fine. He's got the second Gatling gun out. The Orchids are surprisingly good tanks on wave 10.
King
so-
just goes income even.
Let's just keep an eye on Pavided's lane then. How's this Ogre going to do against the Trinity Archer build? I mean, the King is going down so quickly there. The Howler Sunfang combo just shredding. I really am impressed by how quickly that thing can just melt the boss's HP. But it wasn't quite enough. And this is going to be a 71% leak for Pavided. Fine did hold, but just barely. He won't be able to cover in the mid.
Barely, and if King had just went full,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been a double leak,
Like-
but now they have quite a bit of myth to do something with. But I don't think they really want to save longer, considering the
but
spells.
they go for an 11 cent, and there's
There's
sacrifice. King
and-
goes for the last chieftain, so it's just gonna buff itself and
I would not
tank.
be surprised to see
No,
these-
right now it's buffing the Yosora. Is this gonna sack the Yosora then? No,
Yeah, that is
he
that is a Yozora buff, yeah. So King Downs does
But
take
he-
sacrifice, so does Widdowson.
He has a buzz now. He has a buzz.
Let's see if they use their sacrifice, or if they're maybe expecting the send to come a bit later. Okay,
There's
King
a
Downs did
sacrifice
sacrifice. Yep. And he gets a
And
second.
he gets another chieftain, so double chieftain. He's just gonna hold this.
He's going to be completely fine. They are both buffing the
Yeah.
Shizora, though, right?
No,
Listen.
he put a buzz.
Ah, okay.
Wooderson has a chieftain of his own as well from his reroll.
Oh.
He's killing
Wow.
his deep colors though, which is
Oh,
pretty
they
bad.
die very, very quickly, yeah. And his Pilgrim buffed Green Devil, that one goes down quite quickly as well. That should be a leak from Widdowson, not a
Like
massive
half the
one,
wave,
though.
Yeah.
But King Downs, though, he still has both of his chieftains alive here.
So kind of a small leak from both of them.
Small leak from
Oh,
both.
okay,
well,
that's not
80% for
small.
Widdowson and King Downs. This is 46% from him. So they're going to take a decent chunk of King damage here on wave 11.
Yeah, they surprised that the decision
Bigger
from
than
King to just
expected,
go
but as
9 cent, 10 cent instead of just sending together. Because it could have prevented this, but they're not in a horrible spot. I mean, the
No.
fact that Fine and Poeted went investment definitely helps them a little bit in the mid game. So they're playing plus 30 income,
Yeah.
plus like a little bit of income on both of them compared to them to Witter and King. Obviously, Witter and King have a bit more value from the sack and holding that send decently, but
But they'll catch up pretty quickly, right, with that income advantage?
yeah, by wave 14 or so, it should be favored, and as long as the game keeps going longer, it'll be in Fine and Poeted's favor.
Yeah. Interestingly, Widdowson and King Downs both on fire right now.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sure exactly why that is, but I guess it's just their values are decently high.
Yeah.
Considering they did reasonably into a long save.
Alright, so kind of a relaxed little lull in the action now, while both teams kind of consider what their next move is going to be. And looking at the builds, when would you guys expect the next big send to come?
Kind of just feels like 15 game.
15, but like when King and Witter both has the
Pilgrim, yeah.
the chieftains, and Witter is buffing a Green Devil for it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, well, not anymore,
sorry.
but he could
Yeah.
he could buff another. He could put another Green Devil and buff it.
I'm sure he
Yeah.
will for wave 15 as well, right? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. Like Kingdowns and Widdowson, they both look pretty solid on wave 15. Whereas if I look at Pavidad and Fine, they both look pretty weak actually.
Yeah, but Weeded is
Yes.
hiding his Phoenix, and he has already like some decent OT value, so I think he might be able to do quite good for them.
Mhm.
Obviously, Fine has not much there.
Fine
He has
has
some
absolutely
orchids,
nothing. Like he's
but,
got the Orchids, but just no tank value whatsoever.
It's actually going to be a 14 cent.
Okay,
Well, Fine and Pavita are holding.
this is their best
I
wave,
think-
right? Like,
I think King and Witter are expecting a 14, so they go 14 to match.
okay, this might be the deciding moment here because if Fine and Pavidad are able to hold these wave 14 ends, I think the game is just theirs.
Yeah, it's going to come down to this. I mean, they're on okay values.
We've got
there are
some-
some decently sized cents.
Big sense, yeah. We've got the Siege Ram pack leader into Fine. We've got the Centaur Mole into Pavidad. And, I mean, the Ram is really good against the guns.
Yeah.
He didn't upgrade
No
the second
boost.
one, actually.
Win for a Badger and a Tree of Life on the Canopy.
Let's see if we can get both of these lanes in at once. Do you expect either of these guys to hold, or will we see some miniature leaks? This is their best wave, I'm pretty sure.
We'll see leaks, I'm pretty sure, but
Not worth
I feel
ones.
like Poeted should just do insanely well.
Pavidad
and
is
he
just
kinda is.
cleaning up. He's probably going to leak the Centaur and a couple of low HP creeps. And Fine, that's a 42% leak there with 5 slugs. It says 78
Yeah.
for Pavidad, but it's just a baby leak, really. This doesn't
Yeah, but
represent
that's-
too much threat to the king.
no. It's a Centaur and 60% HP, that's that
He just wanna go
gathers so much
16
value.
now.
Yeah. And they've got to be really happy with this outcome for Fine and Pavidad because they probably know that wave 15, they both suck. And they probably know that
Yeah.
Widdowson and Kingdowns were both really good on 15. So this 14 send, although it got a decent chunk of king damage done, it does relieve the pressure on Fine and Pavidad and allow them to save past wave 15, where they would otherwise have been forced to send.
Oh, what is this?
He's super scared about a recent.
I think that's reasonable, honestly. If you look at his build, he's very, very weak on this wave.
And
Yeah, that's
King is
true.
pushing, by the way.
King is
King is
pushing.
just suiciding for a 16.
Yeah, I think he's just decided that Witter can hold better there. He is on. I think Witter is on better value with better units like the Sov and the
Yeah,
I think
Coilers.
that's,
King
that's a
has had
reasonable call.
but they are feeling the pressure here then.
I will say though that Poeted's build is very, very good on team, especially if he gets out either these Pyros that he's showing with the Bazooka or the Phoenix. Even the Kingclaw, like he has infinite options to hold 16 with the 2 archers already down.
Yeah, right. And just on top of that, the sends are just so much bigger coming from Fine and Pavidad because they've been saving for so long.
And I think Fine spotted it because he's kind of confused why King is holding so slowly.
Yeah. We did get the question mark ping coming out there from the player. But yeah, I mean, sure, King is able to send a respectable size send here against Fine. So he's gonna leak for sure. But Pavidad, I mean, he's gonna be the closest on value player when this send comes.
Yeah.
So I do expect him to just hold the longest. We'll have to see though, because Widdowson, he's got some
Widdowson
very
is
solid value
4.7.
there. Yeah, 4.7k value. He's got a double chieftain buffed Sovereign, which is a good tank for this wave.
No.
Oh wait, the buffs are
It's
going
gonna
on the
buff
Green Devil. Alright, this is going to be a race here, guys.
And the Coilers from Witterson are hitting creeps and not the range sends.
Yeah, and we have one Coiler
And they're
dead
going
already.
down.
Kingdowns, of course, leaking full because of the suicide push. We have the second Coiler now dead. Fine, of course, leaking to the suicide from King. Pavidad doing
Pavida
very,
is
very
holding.
well here. And
And
Widdowson,
Witter is leaking.
he's leaking, but very
Oh.
slowly. Are we sure Pavidad? No, Pavidad leaks. Widdowson,
Yeah.
I mean, he
Oh.
leaks as well, but I think he's held long enough.
leaks-
I think Abrasir win the
yeah.
race here.
They have
Yeah.
30% more HP.
Whoa.
That's pretty
Wow.
simple.
King Dans with the suicide push into no send, knowing that was their only way out of this sticky situation they found themselves in. And well played. GG, Abraseet take the first game of the semi-finals.
Impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, very good showing from Pawided and Fine. That was
He
not
made
just a pushover.
Yeah.
The game
He
was
made
really
a slight
back and
build
forth.
mistake. He's building a baby Fire Lord when he can just upgrade his Howlers.
Oh yeah, the Howlers is maybe
I think
just...
that's way more delay.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. It's kind of rough though, and as well he's got so much value in those Harbingers which are just useless on
Yeah.
wave 16. It's a little bit rough for him there. And Widdowson just has 800 more gold on the board, right? So
Yeah,
although he's
it's a
getting
lot of
double
value.
the size send, it's just... Value is pretty good in this video game, guys.
Yep, for sure.
I really like the way that Fine and Pavide played this, though. They went for a fairly big send into wave 11, 460 against both King Dans and Widdowson. They got a decent chunk of King damage there, although maybe not quite as much as they would have wanted. I'm having some login issues here, by the way, guys. I don't know if either of you are
Yeah,
having
same.
the same. And then we got this 14 send from King Dans and Widdowson, a little bit preemptive there. I'm pretty sure if they'd just gone wave 15, they might have won the game straight out there on wave 15. But that said... it didn't matter in the end, because King Downs, with the excellent move there to fully push his workers into no send, winning the race here on wave 16. Abraseet, very well played.
Yeah. It's like a rare or like a more unusual line, but kind of relies on your opponents knowing also knowing how to play the game properly.
Mhm.
Because like if they just send 15 for fun, then they win the game. But they did the normal call, which is go 16 into like builds that look decent on 15 and just getting a send on 14.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what King, knowing that, is able to make the play that he goes.
yep. Really good game reading there by King Downs, just showing us why he is the GOAT. Okay, we have
And
the
why,
next...
even if you have a free win, quote unquote, what feels like it's still not easy.
Yep.
I mean, the who was gonna win balance was really back and forth.
Yeah,
Right.
it was a really roller coaster game actually. Like both sides taking leads, one wave to the next, and ultimately Fine and Pavida, it looked like they had the win, but it was snatched out of their hands by a sneaky little move there from the King. So they've got to be feeling a bit rough after that one. Actually, they must have been pretty confident in their victory after surviving the 14 send, and probably feeling a little bit cheated here. So what are they going to do differently this time around, Offma?
I think they played completely fine. They just got a little bit outplayed, and that's what it happens. I think also on 14, I mean they had reasonable values, and it kind of looks like it's 15 on them. But I think if they feel that there could be a send there because they were building for it, they should be okay to do a little more king ups.
Yeah.
Just on the wave, like 3 spell each, and then they don't take as much damage. Then the race isn't close on 16 as well.
Fair, yeah, that's a pretty good shout.
Those are tough decisions to make, because then you're like, well, I kind of need that 60 Mythium on 15 if I want to leak these guys, and they match us there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
They swapped the send order.
All right, guys,
And it was
we
only
have
King
a
Dance and
game
Widow.
2 on our hands. Let's go.
Ooh, Kingdoms and Widow going with double chaos.
Oh, all right, Scovtroll, this
Yeah.
one is yours. King Dan's the 5 Howler opener. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's a classic. I mean, I've done it since season 2, I think.
Witterson doing something very risky and just building an Oathbreaker and pushing
No,
full.
I'm pretty sure the Oathbreaker buff means that it just holds every time. Like it could hold.
No, I just mean he can't build on 2 in some scenarios. If he gets saved
Oh, yeah.
on, he just loses the game most of the time.
That's true. Oh, King is just playing us for fools.
Yeah, I think he's gonna start Archer.
I'm a bit disappointed, guys, if I'm honest. I was really looking forward to seeing that 5 Howler opener.
Oh, and well, let's see how good his luck is.
Oh, Widdowson.
Because if he leaks, he's in trouble. Most of the time, you can't build again, or you're gonna get sent by like a big, a fast opener, and could potentially be 40 if you leak badly. But hopefully, his Oathbreaker puts it together.
I think the Oathbreaker normally holds now against the Snail. So I think he's actually going to be unlucky if he does leak, but we'll see.
I'm pretty sure the attack speed buff means that it just kills the snail before it goes ham.
Yeah, let's see if Jaws is on his side or not. Oh, you're right.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah.
it just always holds now, right?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so.
And you see, it kills the snail and then it goes ham.
Yeah.
So it even gets a pretty decent auto attack reset.
And he would have been fine. He actually got units that are like super buildable, like pack rat, anglers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nice luck there from Widdowson. But it does look like that's a pretty guaranteed hold now for the Oathbreaker. That's interesting.
It's a pretty nice QOL for breaker opener.
And we have another snail send here from Pavided into Widdowson, who did add 2 anglers here.
Yeah.
So-
I think he thinks it's
Oh.
Fiesta. So he was just rechecking his 6 workers.
Ah,
this
that
Oathbreaker
makes
isn't
sense.
the most uncommon Fiesta opener, and Twitter has been alternating between Cash Out and Fiesta. Now I think it's a little more obvious that he's not.
Yeah, and he's also just fully holding again, right? That Oathbreaker is just doing work here. on
Yeah.
wave 2.
Oathbreaker has so much damage.
Yeah, it really does, especially with that attack speed buff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we have income sends from all 4 players here on wave 3. Not really expecting to see any big leaks coming out, although if Widdowson gets a 60, I think Fine could be in trouble, but I think he's just a couple of Mythium short.
Yeah, and the gun is always doing very good, even to 60.
Yeah, maybe not when your tank is a Windhawk, though. Kind of bad on wave 3.
Does
But against a
struggle
40,
bit,
he
and-
should be fine.
Yeah. He does have the 30 HP nerf as well. So
Leak a little
he-
bit. I think he's leaking a little bit.
That's actually a gun HP nerf diff.
Yeah. 22% leak there for Fine.
It kind of stops him from going 7 workers.
All right, all other players, of course, holding their income sends here.
Another income.
Well, I say could stop him, but he just pushes it after income anyways.
And he is now most likely going to get a 60 send from Widdowson. I do expect him to add the 3rd snail here post
He
income.
can leak pretty badly. I think his gun might just die.
Yeah, let's keep a close eye
I
on
mean,
Pavided's
it
lane.
didn't really take. It didn't take many creeps on wave 3.
Yeah, but on 4, it's the aggro's like a little bit different with 60 cent, but we're not going to see it.
Ah, Widdowson not adding that 3rd snail. That's a bit of a mistake, I think, from him. But
Yeah, I guess he just didn't expect to find a greed after leaking small.
yeah, that's fair. Now, Pavided, he did receive a 60 send from King Dance, but he's easily clearing that. The
But you think
Oathbreaker of his own doing very, very well.
I don't see a snail doing 415 damage to the gun though.
No fair. And King Dance and Widdowson, they're just auto-sending so far in this game, it seems.
Yeah, they're kind of
KS
just
and auto.
chilling.
I thought the deal with KS was overbuild and starve.
Yeah, overbuild and feed, apparently.
Yeah,
New meta.
They definitely got the overbuild part right. They're both playing a little safer considering their units on this wave, but
Yeah. Both King Dance and Widdowson +5 value, fast and aggressive here on wave 5. Pavided and Fine, though, they are taking advantage of this. They feel the low worker counts on King Dance and Widdowson. They feel the income sends every wave, and as a result, they're both on 8 workers, up to 9 now for both players.
yeah, I think Fine is going to go to 10. I mean, he sees the units that Witterson has. He got saved after getting a full send. Like, there is very little risk of him getting punished for this.
Yeah.
What is Witter gonna do here?
Against a Drake, he's pretty bad, right? And he didn't kind of nice luck anything. Very good for wave 6.
Yeah,
Oh,
has
he
the fire
can
alley
get the
as his
quota.
best damage.
He can get the Pota, but to fix his split, he'd have to sell both of these Peewees to raise another one up here.
And then he's just looking horrible to Brute Re anyways. Like,
Yeah.
I think Fire Alley is just the safer choice.
The Fire
It
Rallies
does
are solid.
reasonably well. Like, it should still be... Well, I don't know. He's found pretty high value, but it should, in my estimation, leak, because his units are not very good.
But
It's
King
also
will
pretty good
cover.
against the Drake, right?
Yeah.
So
King should
160
cover
send
decently
here.
fine.
Yeah, King Danzy gets an 80 send as well. I mean, the Lizards are doing some decent damage against the Orchid, especially with the Wave 6 buff now.
Oh yeah, that's
The
true.
Lizards are kind of shredding, but I think he's going to be okay. And Widdowson, meanwhile, it looks like a leak, but not a terrible one,
Yeah.
honestly, considering it was 160 Mythium send.
Oh, he's one attack short of killing that Rocco.
Yeah, that's unfortunate
Yeah,
there for
it's a little
Widdowson.
unfortunate.
But
But,
King Dan
uh,
should be able to clear a couple of these up. Yeah, there we go. So not too much King damage taken. It is First Blood, though.
Well,
And-
GG then.
Yeah?
And
Alright.
Poeta does go for the Brute Resend, which I think it can work, especially I don't think this Fire Up is going to tank anything. But he is, again, already on a very high value, considering he had a 160 send on 6.
Yeah. Well, Widdowson has fully pushed, though, so he isn't building anything for this Wave 7 here. And Bounty Hunter, very weak on 7. Also worth pointing out that the new Fire Elemental is a lot weaker on Wave 7 than it used to be because it's more skewed towards magic damage now, right?
And Fine is going for full re with income, Purple Lizard,
Okay.
which may catch King here, considering he has only units that are horrible to Lizard.
Yeah, I kind
Yeah,
of
it's only
like that
damage is
actually,
100.
because King's most expensive unit, obviously the Orchid, is very weak on 7 and weak in against Lizards in particular. So that's a decent sized leak there for the King, 80% in fact. And meanwhile, Widdowson, he's doing well. He's actually just holding right
Yeah.
against the Brutes End. Okay, that's clutch because if Widdowson leaked as well, this would have been some serious King damage here.
Yeah, luckily King is saving on Poeted, so he wasn't able to push it for that reason, which, like, something like 100 is a pretty big difference to 80.
Yeah, right.
And here's a
Yeah,
Triad
a
send.
cannon go into Widow here is devastating. He's just all weak to impact.
Yeah.
I think Poeted is going to leak pretty badly to this send. His units are pretty bad versus Pack Leader, and this Pack Leader is going to chill in the split.
I think you can't underestimate this unit on Wave 8, though, because Widdowson's only sending like one snail, he
Yeah.
maybe sends another tank post-income. This thing is going to be on the wave, and it can, if it reaches full mana, guys, just one-shot the entirety of Wave 8, so...
Yeah, I think Fine will be fine.
But the 260 send against Pavided, I don't think he's going to be
Yeah.
as fine as his teammate.
Widow knew that he didn't have too much to do here, so he went for the
The
king ups in
income
the
king,
end.
yeah. So
It
just
fixes
watch this
Pack
boom
Leader
tree
for
go.
years.
Bang! And it just cleans up the rest of the wave. That's an easy hold for Fine, which is good because Pavided's 75% leak here, Wave 8. So solid that his teammate is able to cover at least some of that in the mid.
On the plus side, they do save their Mythium and eat that send, and they are looking like they just want to go for a 9 send. And
Yeah.
it is going to be tryhard for both of them. I would imagine Witterson is going to have his Kingpin here.
Yeah, for sure.
It is possible to leak, especially if he can't snipe any of the brutes.
King Dan's did nice luck the Violet here, so he's going to build... Oh no, he's actually just going for the Samurai Soul. Okay, that's solid as well.
Yeah, I guess he expects a mole, and he feels like he has enough damage with the Orchid already.
Yeah, fair enough. The Samurai Soul actually deals out some serious DPS when it comes back in its second form.
Yeah, it's gotten a bunch of attack speed buffs, so it's quite a decent unit on 9 if you have some other stuff. And he even has the poly split to make sure that the wave doesn't leave the Wanderer behind.
Alright, so 220 for King Dan's, 180 for Widdowson. And yeah, the Mole is pretty good against all of the split damage from King Dan's, the Archer, the Tempest. It's reducing a lot of that. And it's even doing decent impact damage against the Samurai Soul. So that thing maybe not able to do as much DPS as it would like. But I think he's going to do pretty well. Meanwhile, Widdowson, he has sniped all 3 of the brutes there.
Yep.
And as a result, his Kingpin is just snacking on the rest of the wave.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see what
And
3 creeps leading from King, which is perfectly fine, even 2.
Oh,
Oh,
3
three.
creeps, yeah, 25% there. He's very happy with that. And worth pointing out as well that both King and Widdowson did save their Mythium here on Wave 9, so they now have a pretty big pressure advantage against Fine and Pavided.
I think
But
the
we did
9
go
send,
in they're both going with the re here.
I think the 9 send was too soon. I think you do want to just go 10 and protect your 11 a little bit, because, I mean, King, yes, can I get like a Trinity for 10? But we saw last game that Trinity is not a end-all be-all answer to a big 10 send, and Witter is a lot weaker on 10 considering the Aquas, and the Kingpin is a bit worse. on 10 as well.
Having said that, though, the Fire Elemental will snack on the Cannoneer pretty quickly, and Widdowson is on fire here, so good that he decides to build the Sky Queen. I think
Yeah.
a bit of extra damage is going to help him out a lot here. Or the Cannoneer as well, just
Fire.
wasting its damage on the Fire Elemental, right? Like, you would have really
Pretty
liked that
nice.
extra damage to kill the Kingpin quickly enough, but I think Widdowson's just going to be totally okay here. It's an easy hold for him, and King Dan's is
Leaking
going to
a little
leave
bit.
very small.
But it's kind of okay,
Yeah.
especially if they want this 11 Sun.
I mean, isn't it just 17% from the boss and then 20 from the cannon?
Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
it's not a big deal.
Oh, but we have a Siege Ram coming out on wave 11 from Widdowson. Fine, how is he going to deal with this? 2 Violets, pretty good on wave 11, I think, so that's probably his best option to go
Yeah.
for.
He has the Magician as well, which he can put down to get value on 2 Violets and a Boom Tree. Like, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And he is going to go for that.
Oh, he's going
he's
for
gonna-
double,
he's just going another
double
Boom
Magician
Tree.
Boom
Okay.
Tree, okay. He's actually not going for Violets at all, that's...
It's gonna have some trouble getting through the round. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you're building at the top of the lane. I don't know if it's gonna hit anyways.
We'll have to see. We
How
might
much-
get a range indicator on these things. It's a lot smaller now than it used to be before the nerfs, right?
Yeah.
Pavided, meanwhile, he does have a hardened golem and a couple of life binders to try and keep that bad boy alive. So he might do okay, actually, but let's keep an eye on Fine. 1 Boom Tree goes down without touching anything on the wave. The Ram is now dead, but it lives long enough that he doesn't get any value from those Boom Trees. He's leaking 100% of the wave. Or 92, okay, he did just get one at the end there. Pavided, he's doing much better, but it's
good.
still going to be a leak with a 4 Eyes included. This is a ton of king damage here.
Yeah.
So
he
they
got
goes
the
like
counter
15,
attack value.
20% or something? Maybe even lower?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
going to
they
drop
have some
very
king
low.
ups, but yeah, pretty good spot for Withering King, especially now that Poeted's Cartel is kicking in. Fine has a small income lead, but he's definitely not going to have a worker lead.
Yeah. I have to think that 2 Violets would have been much better there for Fine, because they would have at least done some damage to the creeps behind the Ram.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and
they
you'll
do
get
have
to
higher
keep-
DPS on the Ram as well.
Yeah, exactly. And meanwhile, though, Widdowson is pushing hard. He's up to 26 workers now. King Dan's is playing it a little bit safer, but Fine and Pavida, they've gone from being in a pretty good spot to kind of decently far behind, I've got to say.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
King is trying to fish for a counterattack here, and they just go 13.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Both players looking very weak on 13.
1550 value on 12, that's like 50 under base. Doesn't have horrible units.
I don't know if King Dan's
but-
can leak here. He's got good damage on his left side, and the samurais are keeping the right side busy for a very long time.
Yeah, he had just a little bit too much damage on the left side.
Yeah, he's doing okay. He's going to hold, I think.
I think
Yeah.
he is. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's close.
it is close. He wanted to leak here. King Dan's really wanted to leak here for some extra time. Fine and Pavida, they do recognise that King's super low value, go for the send, but he was shifting gold. He's going to be easily holding here with this Fatalizer on the APS. So don't
Yeah.
expect King Dan's to leak. Widdowson, though, he
Nice
pushed
luck.
very hard. Yeah, nice luck. He will
He has
get
a
a
Phoenix,
Phoenix
so.
here.
It's Poeted is going for double 4-eye, but this should be safe from double 4-eye.
Yeah.
It's like very, very high chances of not getting hit.
Now, Fine does finally have his 2 Violets here that we wanted to see on wave 11, and he also
Yeah.
drops a Millennium as well. Very good on wave 13, but the send is pretty big, guys.
Yeah, he's gonna struggle, I think, either
Yeah.
way. It's just the fact that you have a gun on your board and no clear 13 answer.
Yeah.
And 2 boom trees aren't very good on 13 as well. Like, he's just getting overrun. And it looks like the same
Yeah.
case for Poeted.
Yep, so Fine leaks the whole wave there, 83%. Widdowson, of course, leaking as well with his full push, but with Fine and Pavida both leaking around 90% and only having 37% on the King, that is the end of their tournament journey, unfortunately. Abrasiet, a quick 2-0 against these guys.
Pretty clean game from them. And I do think Fine and Potter just made one small mistake and didn't follow Boone's Law. Sending 9 after that 8 was just a small mistake because they didn't get anything. All they did was create a super long wave, so they felt like they needed to income, and then they just die on 11, which is their weak wave.
Yeah. Pretty rough there, but a very well piloted game by King Dans and Widdowson. They knew their angles to play for, and they just executed the strategy perfectly, I've got to say.
Yep.
Kind of one-sided game as well. If you look at the graph, there was one dip there, but Boone's Law being violated, you can see the win chance going from the favour of Fine and Pavided all the way back to King Dans and Widdowson, and then they just carried that advantage to the end of the game.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but I think definitely you can see a bit of the experience from King and Witter.
Yeah.
1 in that game 1 call, and 2 just making no mistakes basically. Like, yeah, they got leaked a couple times. They were a little overvalued and giving a small early game lead to Fine, but Fine and Poe did not able to convert the small worker lead into anything.
Yeah, unfortunate, because I would have liked to see 3 games from those guys, but Fine and Pavided, they played very well. They made it to the semi-finals, at least, in their first Division 1 foray, so very well played to those guys. I hope they've enjoyed the journey so far. And guys, meanwhile, we should actually check out the Drakir and Lucy versus Green and Burnt game. I think they're on their second game now. It looks like Drakir and Lucy won game number 1. So maybe we can just hop in and see what goes on in game number 2. We are going to join this one quite late on. It's wave 15 currently. So let's see how these guys are doing so far.
Yep. One of the kings appears to be very low HP. FC Lucy is 1,000 power score ahead of everyone.
Green and Burnt is at 17%. And Lucy is at 6.6.
And they have something like double their workers.
And Lucy is just doing the meme Dread Knight build.
Yeah,
with Ocean Templar, MPS, and APS.
I'm currently struggling to get in, so you guys are going to have to give some audio commentary, like a good old radio cast, until I manage to get into the game.
Okay, well,
we're seeing no sun wave.
Yeah, no sun on wave 16.
The game is just not letting me in. Interesting.
Burnt is going with the Leviathan plus Trinity Archer build. He has 4 Trinity Archers.
Yeah, I would expect that we are going to wave 18, considering the builds that I've seen for half a second.
Yeah. Lucy is on 4 King Claws.
Yeah, they're on some... They have some workers. They have, I think, Lucy and Drakir both have more workers individually than Julian and Green combined right now.
Yeah.
And the same is true of their Vithium counts to begin with, so it's not looking good for our 10% guys.
Definitely not. And yeah, Julian is also...
He's building for the right wave.
He is building for the right wave, and his value is not as bad as I thought. He had more gold. Yeah. Still unspent. Oh, there's one Modman build here, but I think that's fine.
Yeah, he
does have
triple Theta. Maybe he can do something. The problem is he has 4 Trinity Archers, which are quite bad on 18.
Alright, guys. Unfortunately, it looks like I can't get in to spectate this game. I think there might be a spectator cap, and this one's also being spectated by Kid K and someone else, right? So that's probably the issue here. So we'll probably just have to let this one go, unfortunately, unless you guys fancy the radio commentary for the rest of the game.
Well, the game is going to end very soon.
The game is going to end now. We're going to see wave 18 send, big sends coming out of Lucy and Drakir.
I think 1k sends each for Green and Julian, and maybe like 500 sends onto Lucy and Drakir.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lucy has not only MPS, APS, Ocean Templar, DK, she also has the same thing, but for Thetas. And she has 5
King Claws. 5 King Claws, 3 Thetas. A Dread Knight, fully buffed. And yeah.
Green has a chance. He does have fully boosted Orchids, but he is getting double Kraken Shaman.
Yeah.
So that's a tough send for sure.
These Orchids are just gonna throw their Shurikens right at 2 Krakens.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Burnt is hardening for Mudman. And he does have 4 Fatalizers and a Berserker.
Yeah, the Orchids have finished casting, and one Kraken is dead. He will now try to kill the second Kraken, but it looks like it is a futile attempt. And Julian is leaking the whole wave. Green is about to leak the whole wave. I think they are dead,
Yeah.
and I think it's GG's.
They are definitely dead, and the EFF comes out of Julian here. Is Green gonna see it till the end? Lucy just holds. Same for Drakir. So a 30% king against 5 creeps, 2 shamans,
They are dead.
and there it is.
All right, so we do have a 2-0 win there for, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that team name, but it's FC Lucy and Drakir. And that is also a 2-0 win for Abrasiat against Team Rampam Pam. So guys, we have our grand finalists on the cards. That is going to be Team Abrasiat versus FC Lucy and Drakir.
The finals that hasn't happened for a bit, but
yeah, it is.
was
It's an
definitely
old
the
grudge
mainstay
match,
of
right?
Nova Cup.
Yeah, we've seen these guys play against each other a bunch of times, and the old problem was that Abrasiat would pretty much win every time against FC Lucy and Drakir. But that said, Drakir and Lucy, they have been playing extremely well lately. They have a bunch of tournament wins in a row, and I think they're probably going to give a damn good match against Abrasiat today. I might even have to give the edge to Lucy and Drakir just because they've been dominating the ladder lately. They've been certainly playing more than Widdowson and King Downs. So I think if we're talking about form, if we're talking about momentum, I've got to give the edge to Lucy and Drakir. But that's going to be a very exciting grand final matchup.
Yeah, I think they even played some. They played some on the ladder 2v2s. I don't remember exactly how they went, but they definitely are no strangers to playing against each other.
Yeah. All right, guys, well, we will give the players and the casters a quick 10-minute break before we start those grand finals, so don't go anywhere. But once again, in August Nova Cup tradition, I am going to give you guys another shot at listening to GG's That Was Me by our resident comedian / singer-songwriter, Nick Tier. So guys, enjoy the song, and we'll be back in around 10 minutes' time.
Trojans, rise!
Joe Conyu is doing way too well here. Look at this, the Azeria is just killing everything. The Centaur will get through, but Joe Conyu, what an insane hold! Wow! I mean, there's a reason this guy hit Legend. The Phoenix is just destroying the backline. Is she even holding? I think Lucy's just holding here.
Everything joins me in time.
X-God, I mean, he's got 2 Drakes out there with the MPS buff, with the Leviathan buff. That looks like a hold as well. Oh, Fiesta! Oh, 3 Fiesta picks! Everybody linking. What a Fiesta here on Wave 9. 61 for X-God, 71 for Lucy, 56 for Drakir. Look at the Kings, look at the Kings, look at the Kings! It's so close! It's so close! Oh! It's so close. Let's zoom out so we can see both sides at once. Oh, what? So close, but I think with 30% it's just not enough. And yes, X Crash, oh, your July Nova Cup champion. Well played. No.
Build something. Oh, no.
It is a bounty. Okay. Welcome back, Twitch chat. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far, and we have got the best yet to come, because right now we're about to start the grand finals. And what a finals it is, guys. We've got Kingdans and Widdowson versus FC Lucy and Drakir. This is a very, very exciting matchup. A bit of a grudge match, fair to say, between these two teams. So let's see which of these players are going to get the upper hand. Do we have a lobby open yet, guys?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you.
Oh. All right. Any predictions from either of you?
5 games.
5 games. I would love to see 5 games. And these two teams are so closely matched. I think they can certainly make that happen for us today.
3-1 for Drakir and Lucy.
Oh, spicy.
All right.
I feel it in my toes.
So either way, this is going to be a very, very cool best of 5 series between these two teams, and we're going to see some spicy plays. We're going to see a bunch of different masterminds options picked, because of course we have the conquest format, meaning that the players are forced to mix it up a little bit in between games. Once a player has won with a certain mastermind, they cannot pick it up again, so they're kind of forced to use their entire range of play styles, and it's just keeping things interesting, making the finals as fun as it can possibly be. So let's see when we get these guys into the game. It looks like all of the players are ready, so we should be able to hop straight into the first match pretty quickly, guys, and this is going to be a super exciting one.
Yeah. I'm expecting some pretty high-level plays, so it'll be very interesting.
Oh, and here we go. So, Skovdrold, we did get a 5-game prediction there from Offma. Do you have a favourite to win this series?
Well, as you heard before, I said 3-1 to Drakir and Lucy.
Imagine thinking I can hear, dude. Come on, I'm very old now. It's difficult. All right, guys. Game number 1 of your August Nova Cup Grand Finals is here.
YOLO
Drakir with the big energy.
Something like Start Badger.
Oh,
it's kind of a rough YOLO roll, honestly.
It's
and
it's a bit of a Dubai roll.
Wow.
Widdowson, despite the 50% reduced chance, has managed to roll Coloro Pixie with his Fiesta, so that's going to be an exciting one.
That's a very bold castle pick. Unfortunately, she doesn't know it's Fiesta Cartel, but there is AOA. I guess there's also Savior. But it might be a really tough game for Lucy.
It can be a very tough game for Lucy. Now, Widdowson, he's got a decision to make here, right? Because he's playing Fiesta and he has the Pixie, but he also has Priestess, Mask, with Archer, with Tempest, even with a Bone Warrior for Dark Mage options. He's got an absolutely insane roll there for Widdowson. We'll have to see what he picks.
Yeah. He's secretly got 3 different god rolls. Into one.
And they're all some of the best rolls in the whole game as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what he should do is pick 1 unit from each of the 3 rolls and just go with that. Mm-hmm. That's not going to bite him in the ass.
And King starting with some anglers, so gonna pick up some extra stackies from his teammate.
All right, Widdowson does decide to go with the Pixie Fiesta, so expect some very high tempo early game plays from this man. And for his late game, he has Tempest, Archer, and the Hades. I mean, he's just got an absolutely insane roll, and the nice luck comes out there from Drakir.
Yeah.
And Kingdans even has anglers to really benefit from covering the Fiesta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
wow.
Lucy has a pretty safe opener, though. It definitely has some clear weak waves that she doesn't have perfect answers to yet. Thinking wave 8 doesn't really have something to kill Mole. And wave 10 is not looking so off, but maybe she can rely on Drakir to help her out.
The Bone Warrior is placed down from Lucy, so she's gonna just hold these double snails here.
Yeah. Widdowson opting to go 6 workers here instead of trying to Pro League 2 a snail. And it's going to pay off because he's not getting a cent here.
Yeah, so Lucy presence of mind to add here, especially with her castle roll, just playing it a bit safer than she might otherwise, and she's going to be rewarded with an easy hold against the double snail here. Widdowson 67% to no send, by the way, but he did go to 6 workers. He is playing the Pixie Fiesta, and he's just going to have so much Mythium that even leaking this much is going to be beneficial to him.
Yeah, it's
I'm a bit confused about King's positioning though. Like, with these exact units he has, he can hold and just have the 2 anglers survive with decent HP.
It's just better in the later stages where you want your bounty to tank for your Canopi, especially tank, because sometimes on the wall the bounty is just like decides to chill for his whole lifetime, and you can get some bad spots. Obviously, you do sacrifice those early stacks, like you mentioned. And Track actually just going. I think they're going straight 4 on these guys, and Widdowson has the right read, opting to not build a second Pixie where he might just hold, and instead just going for triple Howler, which is better on 4, and I don't think he holds here anyways.
Yeah,
I
better
could be
on
wrong,
4
but Pixie
and
is very
worse
strong
on
here.
3, where he does still want to leak to the no send. So a really, really nice read there from Widdowson.
Yeah, Lucy is definitely leaking to this 80, but
Yeah.
she is gonna kill all the creeps.
No,
looks like.
Wait a minute, definitely
Not
leaking.
even
Wait,
leaking.
what?
I think you mean easy holding.
Wait, that actually
Yeah.
holds this?
That holds an
Firefire
80?
is so good.
That's absolutely
That's
insane.
insane to me.
Yeah.
It's 3 bounties and then this.
That's 235 value holding an 80 send on wave 3. That's Jules? Jules!
Post
I
nerf
mean,
as
Fire
well.
Alley is just extremely strong on 3.
Yeah, it is.
Oh
That,
my
which
God.
was the point of the recent changes, right?
Yeah. And well, good luck to Witterson. You can
Yeah.
actually sell to build an archer here, and it's not even gonna be that bad.
Yeah, he does. He does go for the play. That's a pretty solid choice there from him, especially because he has a decent amount of value on the right-hand side.
King building his Dino Slayer.
Whoa.
So we'll see how he can do. He is on value, he is Cartel, so that is an advantage to Cartel. You're against big sends, you're almost always going to be on value in the early game.
Big 120 send coming out for Kingdowns. How is he going to do against that? And it's a 120 for Widdowson as well. He is not going to hold, but after placing that archer, he's at least able to clear up a decent number of creeps there. Kingdowns, will he kill the dino? It's close, he does.
Yeah.
Widdowson 71% leak. Kingdowns, he's doing very well. Is he even just going to hold this? Does he get one more heal before the shroom goes down?
If he gets the
Oh,
heal,
he
if gets the
does.
heal,
Yeah,
It's a hold.
does the shroom even die?
very nice from him.
No,
Kingdowns
important.
it just
goals.
dies.
making this
Barely dies.
120 Mythium send on wave 4 just look easy.
But now
Yeah.
the turtle is gonna make sure that he doesn't kill anything of the wave.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a super long wave, and Drakir and Lucy are ahead in workers, so it's even though they didn't get the full leak on Kingdoms as well, it's still a very good opener for them. And kind of negating the Pixie Fiesta a little bit, not letting the Pixie or the Fiesta player control the pace of the game.
That's actually crazy to me that we have FC Lucy on the castle receiving from a Fiesta Pixie player, and she has the most workers in the lobby. That's just crazy. Like, no wonder this lady was 3.2k elo a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I mean, she's taking a huge risk, and she will get punished on wave 6, but it might be okay. Like, all they need to do, realistically, at this point, is survive in the game, because she is very, very far ahead once post-11 happens.
Mhm.
And King
And-
is sending his boss on a journey.
I think Widdowson might be having a little bit of a Scorpion King incident here on wave 5.
Oh, that's
Who's
fine
everything
though.
else?
Well, I suppose he'd rather kill the king and leak something else, but
Yeah,
Could be worse.
it could be worse. It's a 53% leak with his Fiesta Pixies. He only has the one Pixie though, so he's not getting quite as much crazy Mythium as he might otherwise.
And here comes some big sends. It's income into Drakir, but we all know that Cannoneer is fake income send. It's pretty strong though. And we have the Antler, which is a lot. We keep talking about the wave 6 change, but these big units are just so much worse there. And it is a very good answer though to Brutes. And we'll see if Lucy is able to do reasonably well. She's very far under though.
and we see Disciple coming out of Drakir.
Yeah.
He has decent tank value with the Devilfish.
Hellfish is very, very good on wave 6. It still goes down relatively quickly, though, with the Cannoneer and the Rocco passive, and his Casket won't last too much longer. He's doing very well, though. The Disciple picking off those Roccos very cleanly. Lucy leaks 80% against the Double Brute DT send, and Drakir is going to leak as well. There's a 43% there. They're going to take some decent damage here, and Widdowson gets a very nice Fiesta meanwhile, 33% against 100 send.
Yeah, that's really lovely for Widow.
And King is not having is having a pretty clean game. He's just kind of chilling, using the cartel value to get to his spikes, and he can't really be leaked, and he's pretty much getting a free Kingpin now.
Yep.
Yeah, and he
doesn't even go for Kingpin, yeah.
No, it's still only 6 stacks, so...
Yeah, I just mean on 8th he'll have a...
Sure, yeah. And he's just not really being pressured, right, this game, because Widdowson's been piling the pressure onto Lucy, so she's kind of forced to income send quite a lot, and Kingdans, after that wave 4 clutch hold, has just had a really nice game.
And Lucy overbuilding now after that send, trying her best to hold wave 8, where there is almost certainly going to be Triad sends in her lane.
So, Kingdan's able to farm all of these crucial wave 7 stacks. A really nice play against Bounty Hunter players, by the way, is to go for a big send on 7 to deny those stacks. But actually, his Bounty Hunter's just running it down, so the Dino was enough, it seems, to deny a large number of stacks to that Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, I think he's just, with the full send, like Income King here, he's just going to push and build something smaller. Hopefully get more stacks on 8 or 9.
Now,
it's going to be not a Triad send. It's going to just be Income. Maybe just saw that she built already a lot.
I can see it, right? Because both Widdowson and Kingdans have absolutely crazy late game rolls with the Ocean Templar Gates for Kingdans, with the Trinity Archer, Tempest, Hades for Widdowson. So they just want to snowball their income and make sure that they've got a really good setup for the late game.
Yeah, Drakir is trying to catch him, but Widdowson just does the simple thing and gets the Archer.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. How's Widdowson going to do against this? He's going to be very fine, right? That Trinity Archer is basically unleakable on wave 8. So let's hop over to Lucy and Drakir against their income sends. It looks like these guys are both doing very fine as well. We might get a bit of a leak on Drakir, but nothing too much.
Yeah, Lucy's Fire Arc actually goes down, but there is enough value, I think, behind it.
42% from Drakir, that was a 220 send, and Kingdans did actually sneak a Brute in there post-income. Oh wait, is Lucy? No, she is fine.
Yeah, and the thing is that King and Witter are both super pushed now and held their... Well, Witter held his like mix of income charts, and they do have quite a bit of a lead, I would say, right now.
And Drakir and Lucy's King HP is just being whittled away here. Like, they're not taking any massive damage on any one wave, but they're just losing 10% here, 20% there, and as a result, they're now on 67%. So, kind of in a rough position where they can fairly easily be one-shot if Widdowson and Kingdans want to go for a long save now.
Yeah. But I think given their push, they're very likely going to have to send on 11 at the latest. They have very good 10 builds, so they might be planning to skip there.
Yeah. Kingdan still doesn't have this Bounty Hunter upgraded, by the way, and has still managed to get 18 workers onto the table, so he's having an absolute whale of a time here.
Yeah. And he is going to get most of these with 9 stacks, and the Kingpin does end up with a respectable amount of stacks. I would assume he gets it here. No real point greeting past wave 10.
Yep.
Get 1 stack.
Yeah, there we go. The Kingpin comes out. Kingdan's 1465 value, 18 workers. I gotta imagine he's going to be on fire next wave.
Yeah, I would think so. It's probably a very good spot for him specifically. He's going to be able to make up for his cartel debuff since he's been 18 workers for so long. And I mean, it looks like they're going for Triad sends, and I would assume that Drakir and Lucy do have to try and match with some sort of king damage as well.
Yeah, they have to, right? They do have a saviour on the table, which is pretty nice given their lower HP. Although Drakir can make very good use of the Magician buff with his Starcaller Disciple Circle.
Yeah,
So
but maybe Lucy just goes for the
Savior
healing.
or AoE King Ups. I think both would be fine.
We do have All-Out Assault picked up here from Widdowson. Kingdan's still deciding.
Yeah, I think he's unsure if they're actually going to tryhard him here. In which case the Pilgrim would be much better.
Yeah, Lucy goes for the savior.
Lucy with the
And
Saviour.
King also for an AoE.
And Drakir with the Magician Aura as expected. So let's see. I mean, these sends are pretty big coming out. We do have a Siege Ram already from Kingdowns. He's going to get another 200 Mythium as well. Maybe a Witch.
Yeah, I think so. And the Witch is quite good versus the Bucklers. And obviously the Ram is a tough one to kill.
Yeah, the Ram is really rough. So I don't think we need to watch the income sends. The real action is happening over here on the side of Drakir and FC Lucy. There's 520 Mythium in both lanes. Drakir's already on the wave, and he sniped the Witch really quickly, actually. So
Yeah,
he's
there's
gonna
no
do...
lizard.
There's no Lizard. He's going to do quite well, but he's still going to leak.
But Lucy is doing very decent.
Oh wow, yeah, Lucy doing very well as well. Drakir 67% leak. FC Lucy does snipe a last minute Quill Ball there, but still 76% for her as well. Now they did Saviour and they have got a decent amount of King upgrades, but this is going to chop their HP down to around 50%, I think.
Yeah, I think the only positive light they have is that Lucy had the castle bonus now.
Yeah.
She's basically back, but they're still super far behind in workers. And about the same in value even, so it's not an amazing spot for them either way.
No.
And
They need to catch up real quick in workers if they want to have a chance at this game, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going for.
Oh wow, Widdowson
Bigwig?
actually going to play Bigwig in a tournament game? That's ballsy, my friend.
Yeah,
Putting a big wig down on 12, that's almost disrespect.
It gets its value back, I think, by 16. So, I guess it's something. I mean, if he wants to overbuild, it's not a bad choice. And he has a god roll.
It kind of feels the equivalent of sending 8 Hermits to me, you know? Like, he feels like the game is won and he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I'm not sure he would take this risk again, but it is it's gonna be good for his plan.
Mm.
And I would assume they are gonna go quite long.
11 gold on the first wave. I guess it does get accelerated mana when it's built later in the game, right? But we see Widdowson and Kingdowns both on fire. Only 25 gold shutdowns, but it's something.
Yeah, I mean, Drakir has a very, very strong late game roll as well.
He does. He does.
So there is hope if they can somehow keep dragging out the game. Widder doesn't have great tanks. Obviously, King has an insane roll for late game.
Yeah, he really
With
does. The Ocean Templar Gates.
the Pilgrim. There's basically no weaknesses besides wave 19. But then again, Widderson is a god on 19. So it's going to be very tough to find the right angle back to win this game. But we'll see what they try and cook up.
Yep, absolutely. And the one thing is that Lucy does have the highest income in the game, right? Her castle power spike finally starting to kick in. Maybe by wave 14 she can catch up.
Yeah, her value is looking solid so far. But it's kind of looking like 15 for everybody. Not sure if they're going to be able to skip.
Yeah. And wave 15 is looking really good for Widdowson and Kingdowns, actually. The Ocean Templar canopies are just unkillable on 15 with the split shot. And Widdowson, of course, with his Leviathan Hades, is going to do some serious work there as well.
3 OT canopies from Kingdowns.
Yeah.
I guess Drakir and Lucy have to go 15 to match, right?
Yeah, I wonder if they'll just even income King
They
and try
might.
and keep extending the game. Because going for a race here, basically have to hope that you hold as well, somehow. But it's what they're going to go for. I understand that they do need King damage to play the rest of the game, so it's perfectly reasonable. but the odds of them holding longer here is very, very low.
Yeah, and with only 45% King HP remaining, they can't really afford to leak much of anything here.
And they're big sends. Literally.
Yep. That worker advantage that they've had for the last 3 or 4 waves in a row is going to just put a massive threat into the lanes of Drakir and FC Lucy. And as we said, King Dan's with his Ocean Templar, Canopy Circle, and a couple of Lost Chieftains as well. He's just going to be very, very fine.
They're both very close to value. And
King and Wit are even leaking here.
I think they're going to be pretty fine, right? We've got the Leviathan buffed Hades there from Widdowson just shredding through the lane. King Dan's, he's just got an unkillable build here on this wave. Let's have a look at Drakir and Lucy. How are these guys doing? The Needler making short work of Lucy's Swift and Arcane tanks.
It's just a bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, they aren't doing terrible, but
Yep.
it's just too much, yeah.
And Witter and King both holding.
Do you guys still hear me, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, because my game is frozen.
Oh,
Unlucky.
don't worry. There's not much more to look at.
Oh.
Okay, guys, I think we can safely say that Drakir and FC Lucy have lost their King's HP here, and Widdowson and King Dan's have taken game number 1 of the Grand Finals. Am I right, boys?
You are completely correct.
Excellent. Okay, that's a bit of a dodgy time for the game to just freeze, but there you go.
Yep.
Crush them.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess I have to Alt F4. Alright, apologies for that one, guys. No idea what happened there. The game just completely froze. But I'm sure we can see the match history there just to confirm what happened. And yeah, that was a defeat for Drakir and FC Lucy, with the sends from Widdowson and King Dan's just closing the game out there on wave 15. So really nicely played by Team Abraceat, piloting this game very nicely. And if you just look at that win chance graph, they had a lead all the way from wave 7 and just kept it until the end of the game. So pretty dominant play there from Widdowson and King Dan's, and we'll have to see if Drakir and Lucy can mix things up a bit as we go into the next game.
Yeah, that was a bit of an unfortunate mastermind situation. And them double leaking on 6 was pretty bad. And then, like you mentioned, they kind of just slowly got tripped down, and they couldn't really get anything going.
Yeah, I've got to say that Lucy did very well as a castle player, receiving from a Fiesta Pixie roll. But it just, it wasn't enough in the end. So she put up a good fight, and Drakir did pretty well as well to keep pressure on top of Widdowson. But Widdowson and King Dan's, they're just masters of the game, it seems.
Yeah, they played that really well.
All right, we do have a lobby open for game 2 as well. Let me just see if the players are ready. Looks like. I don't know why my camera's like super dark as well. All right, the players
Have
are
you tried
ready.
lighting up?
I'm trying my very hardest. It seems to be something to do with the door in the background. But guys, I mean, that was a very exciting end to the game, which I would have loved to have been able to see. But hopefully there's no further technical issues, and we are moving on to game number 2 now. Widdowson and King Dan's, of course, have a 1-0 advantage. This is a best of 5, though, so Drakir and Lucy still have plenty of chances to come back into this one. So, guys, game number 2, let's go.
Yeah, and Fiesta Cartel is one of the stronger options. So having that off the table definitely... I mean, they got their win with it, which was important.
Yeah.
But we'll see if Drakir and Lucy can play against it
And
without
there's
that.
always the option to swap it around. Ooh, King Dan's Chaos. Is we going to see a Witter Chaos as well? Double Chaos game 2.
Wonder if he's gonna play something that just... I don't know. Yeah, like something that fishes for a divine target. Oh, well, double chaos.
Double Chaos. And what are we seeing? It's a cat and a Seraphim. Interesting start.
Yeah, it's a
I mean, I like those two units together.
not a common opener, but suppose you have
No,
to
not
do
this
it.
way. But I mean, when you're playing Chaos and you know these two units, they work pretty decently together. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Wooderson also having to experiment a bit because he doesn't have a clean opener as well.
that's an interesting way of looking at it, those Scov draws. So, obviously, if you're not playing Chaos and you have Nekomata Seraphim in your role, you're really happy to just stack the cat a couple of times, add the Seraphim on wave 3 where it can smurf against the wave, and it just covers all of the weak waves that Nekomata has, right? But when you're a Chaos
Yeah.
player, you don't have that luxury, so King Dan's forced to play both units on wave 1 instead. Really interesting way of playing this, I think.
And it's gonna be the Shakura start from Lucy.
Oh,
Sakura.
that's really good for King Dan's actually, because he can just giga push his worker button now and have a pretty free early game receiving from the very slow Sakura opener from Lucy.
Yep. I will say that Lucy does play Sakura super aggressively after wave 3 though, so even if King is able to get to an early start, Lucy will be getting back her pressure very quickly past wave 3.
Mhm.
And Drakir is sporting the gun, his new positioning on the left.
Oh, he's been
Um,
cooking this build, right?
Yeah, it's a lot stronger on non-ranged waves. And the main thing is that it lets you push 7 workers on 4 almost every time,
Mhm.
which is a pretty big deal in the early game, and gets you some pretty nice aggro on 6. Like you can have the gun split tank 1 or 2 Rockos perfectly. Just suffers a bit on those ranged waves where the creeps are a bit further away.
Interesting. We'll have to see how that one plays out then as we move through this game, especially with Overwork 11 a potential option there. And
And
King
6 workers
Dan's
from him, 6 workers from King.
King Dan's causing a very slow wave for 6 workers as well, with the Nekomata Devilfish here on wave 2.
Yeah. That's also like a Devilfish. It's good on all waves until wave 7. I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the Nekomata picks up the slack again on wave 7. It's a really good combo.
Exactly. And then you're weak on 9, but you've had so many strong waves that you should have had time to adjust for the weak wave coming 9 waves in to the game.
Yep. And we're just actually saving onto Lucy Sakura here. Only one getting a full send is Witterson. Triple snail into his mask build, which has no arcane. He has some pretty nice aggro though, so looks to be
He
pretty
just
reasonable.
cleans up everything. That's just wow.
Yeah, Drakir though, 50% leak there to the 2 snails. His corner gun maybe looking a little bit underwhelming, but he didn't really have good tanks for it here on wave
Yeah.
3.
He greeted
I wonder what
pretty hard.
happens if Witter goes for the turtle snail into Lucy here.
I think she'll be fine. It's against a
Yeah.
60 cent. You only need 2 seedlings to hold. And
No, but
she's gonna have more
with the
than
leak
that.
with the leak that came out of Drakir as well. But yeah, you can't really know that you're gonna be breaking the gun on 3. That happens very rarely.
Now, Drakir with those 7 workers, but Witterson and King Dan's both keeping pace as well. Lucy, the only player lagging behind on 6, but she is getting that bonus Sakura value every single wave as well. And she's going to push at least up to 8, maybe even 9 here with the 60 cent coming out from Witterson on wave 4.
Yeah, for sure. And King is saving quite a bit into Drakir, looking at either 6 or 5 or 6 for the gun's weak waves, probably.
Easy hold
Witter
there
just-
against the 60 cent for Lucy.
Witter holding a turtle with 270 value.
Oh, that's solid, yeah. Really good.
And King just leaking a single creep.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
just perfect for him. But having said that, Lucy is going for a try-hard send here on 5. We have the Brute already. Will King Dan's feel pressured to send?
Probably needs to send the Drake.
There he goes for the Drake,
So-
yep. Very,
It's a
very
pretty
good.
good threshold, yeah.
Really good
Yeah,
against Drakir's build as well here on 5. He's got the natural tanks for the Howlers, and of course the Drake just demolishes the
Yeah,
gun
isn't
when it starts to attack it.
But isn't the Drake just gonna demolish the gun from the get-go?
No, it should be safe.
We'll have to see. If that Drake goes straight on the gun, this is going to be disaster for Drakir here on wave 5. So,
okay, it spawns late.
oh, okay, so it does kill that one seedling on the right, but it's still absolutely chewing through all of Drakir's tanks here, and that gun's probably not long for this world. Drake now onto the gun.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done quite well at clearing up most of the wave, but it's still a 58% leak there from Drakir, and that might be death for Lucy's Sakura as well. Kingdowns, he does get punished though. That's a 61% leak from him against the Brute DT. Widdowson at least holding his lane against the 80 cent, so that's
Yeah,
something.
but he's not covering anything. Whereas
not covering
the Sakura is
anything.
gonna kill the Sakura is just gonna leak the Drake to the king. But then
Yeah.
again, that is a Drake.
It is the Drake.
Sadly lost the stack, yeah.
And the Drake is actually doing nearly the same amount of damage against the King as the whole leak on the side of Widdowson and Kingdowns. But yeah, like permanent damage really against the Sakura, losing a stack there.
Feels pretty bad.
And on 5 at that too. You hate to see that.
Yep.
It's like the one wave where it doesn't bleed.
Shooting very hard here. Trying to go for a big 7. And he's kind of shifting just to see what Chaos gives him, but he likely has a plan to just get the Hellraiser anyways if he doesn't find anything good.
And Widdowson just nice lucks the casket here for wave 7, which is probably the perfect unit for him.
Yeah, that's quite good for him.
Kingdowns hasn't really rolled anything here on 7 though, but he can still add some stacks to the cat, upgrade his Harbinger, something like that. He's got plenty of options.
It's going to be Brutes for him again. And the same...
We're going for the imps.
Oops. It's actually very good, because Lucy has 0 Arcane on her board.
Yeah, but so much natural.
Yeah.
Like only natural and a coiler.
It is a very bold read. Oh my god, is she cheating?
Oh, she's cheating.
It's the perfect answer to imps, I'll say that.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
Widdowson's going to wish he sent Brutes instead.
But when you're 100 under with Sakura on 7, you're kind of just dead anyways.
Yeah, you're
Even with
leaking
a
for sure.
Proper build like that. Just sniping one of the imps instantly.
The serpent went straight for the imp, which was just in time for the Sakura to kill one turtle, and then the Sakura went on the turtle, or the imp, I mean.
That's pretty nice
But
indeed. And meanwhile, Kingdowns is
the
just fully
Sakura
holding.
is still dead.
Yeah,
So-
so Lucy does leak, Widdowson leaks as well, but Kingdowns, with this Harbinger upgraded, he is able to hold for the team, so that's pretty clutch.
Yeah, and he's
Oh,
been
but the
saving
Harbinger
under
goes
here.
down, so it's just the doggo living.
Yeah,
That's pretty big. If the Harbinger had lived, it had summoned another dog, and the dog is almost dead.
yeah, so he won't really be able to clear up much of anything in the mid, and a decent bit of chip damage here for Widdowson and Kingdowns.
But, it's actually just going to be income from King. To go for a Brute? Okay, yeah, he does. So opting not to go for the Ogre, maybe expecting a boosted Orchid, but it's actually going to be a Bunk here.
Very, very strong on
it's-
wave 8, of course,
That
so
is
he
pretty
should be
big.
fine.
I mean, is there anything stronger than a Bungonade?
Especially when he's not receiving a mole or something like that to reduce all of the reflect
Yeah.
damage. I think Drakir's just got an easy
Yeah.
hold here with this Banana Bunk.
Oh, and the boosted infiltrators as well.
Yeah.
Not taking any chances.
Still 260 Mythium though from Drakir, so let's see how well he's able to hold here. His gun is
Let's see
taking
what
a
the gun-
decent bit of aggro there. His Bunk does now go down.
Yeah, but the gun.
Does the
Oh,
gun
it
live?
dies.
It does
Oh,
die.
it just doesn't protect itself because of the reflect damage not
Yeah.
being on the creeps hitting it.
And as a
That's-
result, he's actually going to leak here, despite having 978 value with good units. That's a
Well,
67%
and
leak for Drakir.
2 of those are really low, and 1 is under half.
Yeah, it's a
That's
little
really
unlucky.
sad for him.
It's a little unlucky, yeah, but at least Lucy's Sakura won't lose another stack here. She is able
Yeah.
to fully cover in the mid. Kingdown's pro leaking as well here on wave 8.
Yeah.
So pretty close game, it's got to be said. On wave 9, there's not much in it. Both teams still fairly healthy in terms of King HP. Both teams pretty close in terms of workers and income, though there is a slight worker advantage for Widdowson and Kingdowns.
Yeah, I'd say that Lucy's a bit like a decent spot as well. But Drakir is a little bit behind after the wave 5 and the wave 8. He's definitely had the harder game.
Mhm.
And Lucy actually found a pretty nice blessing target in her reroll, 2 of them even. But we saw her play the DK in the semis with APS, MPS. It's about the same thing with Divine. So we'll see if she can use that. It'll protect her 11-12 pretty comfortably.
Alright, big income sends coming out on wave 10 against Lucy and Drakir. Let's see if we get any work done here. Lucy is playing down the Avenger, it looks like. So pretty solid tank and damage dealer on wave 10.
Yeah.
And of course with the Coiler
Drakir-
to survive, I think she's going to be okay.
Drakir sells 2 seedlings to get the gun upgrade.
Mhm.
Makes perfect sense. It's good on 10, it's good on 11, it's good on 12.
Looks like they want Overwork 12, especially after this 10 send.
Oh, but Widdowson, at some point he managed to nice luck the Priestess of the Abyss, which of course is just the perfect
Yeah.
unit to take that Divine Blessing spell. So he's going to be in a really good spot on 11 and 12, I think. Let's see if these
Actually, a full
income sends
send.
get any work done.
Yeah, King Dan sneaking a Brood in there as well.
Sneaky, but he looks like Drakir's going to be be fine. He
Drakir's
does.
just gonna hold. Oh, okay, Legion.
Maybe?
Oh, that's
Maybe?
even
Well,
worse than a hold.
And Lucy's Kura, I think, is going to clean it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
This
So
is
that's
actually
Sakura just-
really good for Drakir and Lucy. Like, that's a perfect pro leak there from Drakir. They're getting more time for their 19 workers to generate Mythium for whenever they decide
Overwork
to go.
right away.
Yep.
Insta pick overwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would expect.
Yeah,
to
and that
see-
makes perfect sense to go 12 because King Dance does not have anything for 12.
I wonder if he goes like takes the
King Dan's-
gun, takes the blessing, or if he just takes magician. I think he's gonna
he's
go
going for the gun.
though.
Yeah, that's the gun. Wow, King just logging out big time.
Yeah, the problem is he's still gonna have to kill a ram, which is pretty troublesome.
Yeah, but apart from the gun, the rest of his build is like very heavy on impact damage, right? So he's got the Harbinger, he's got
Yeah.
the Gate, the Violet even.
But now,
Drakir is
now,
going
this,
for the
now, this,
bully.
now that he's got the gun, his build is also heavy on natural armor and fortified armor.
Yeah, true.
So
But-
the gun with the blessing just hammering away.
And as Othma rightly points out, Drakir has heavily pushed here, up to 23 workers with the overwork, probably hoping for a bit of a pro leak here for an extra long overwork wave 11. Let's see if he can make that happen. It looks like no, the gun is
No.
just
That
too
is
strong.
Yeah.
Too insane. He's 1230 value.
Yeah, right?
and Chilling. Oh my god.
Well, that's
The
some imps.
boys.
That's a large number of imps there. Drakir sending 6 imps into Widdowson, but that's kind of bizarre to me because Widdowson has a Divine Blessing
would you
Azeria.
go- Yeah, why would you go for the
he's-
imps here?
I think he's overrun. There's 0 tank value besides. Oh my. Okay, well now there's a kingpin, but I think his plan is to just try and kill everything that's not the Azeria.
Yeah?
And hopefully the wave will kill the Azeria afterwards. And it's gonna be try hard onto Lucy here.
Okay, I mean that's just a really
Um,
bizarre send to me, the 6 imps, but let's see if Drakir knows what he's doing. It is still a 700 Mythium send here for Widdowson on wave 12 and a 640 for King Dance as well, who's just now managing to kill that siege ram. The imps are shredding through all of Widdowson's tanks, as you were saying, Othma, but that Azeria is just smurfing on the left-hand side of the wave. King Dan's leaks 105% there to the send, and Widdowson, he is going to leak, so that's a 76% there, and of course both players losing their Divine Blessing as well. Meanwhile, Lucy leaking just 25% to the tryhard send in her lane.
It's a pretty good outcome because Drakir is able to. I mean, Drakir is giga pushed. And his overwork income generation from that, it's just insane. It looks like he's suing for 14? Or unsure, he's just continuous. Yeah, he's
Oh yeah, he's just
not committing all the way, but he
pushing
is
really
very,
hard.
very pushed.
And given that Widdowson and King Dans have both lost their Divine Blessings now as well, they're quite a lot more vulnerable to the next upcoming send than they would otherwise have been. This is looking like a pretty good spot for Lucian Drakir, actually.
Nice luck.
Nice luck.
He's not going to prep any tantrums, though, which would be the best defense. I mean, it looks like his defense against Wave 14 is going to be value.
Kingdan's
and King
very
going for an
greedy here with that egg
Yeah.
sack, I think,
Ooh.
because that does make him fairly vulnerable on 14, even though he's got a ton of value.
Yeah,
see
as
if
Offma
workers-
just pointed out, 35-32 versus
Yep.
20-20.
And Drakir's actually still pushing workers
Yeah.
here. He's on 36 now. He's probably just going to full push into this wave 14 send. It's all or nothing here.
I think they noticed.
Yep, there's the 33% leak to no send from Drakir. He's pushing, he's got 37 workers now. Lucy's full pushing as well. This is the fabled double suicide play here for wave 14.
But
They
they
have
can
full
afford
king,
it. They have 96 versus 23. Even though the king has no ups,
They're in a very good spot to win the race, yeah.
I mean, they're
But-
King and Witter will send. We'll see if value can defeat workers.
Yeah, this is the age-old combat between value and workers. The sends coming out from Lucy and Drakir are absolutely massive. Lucy is also building after the income stage, so she
Yeah.
does get this sovereign, which will enable her to at least tank for a little while. But with 2.4k value, I do expect her to leak to Widdowson's full send here as well.
The egg has
Yeah.
gone missing.
Yeah, King Dan's
Yeah.
forced to sell the egg. That's definitely the
King
right play.
realized.
It's an expensive
Yeah.
mistake, though, for King Dan's having to sell that egg at 60% of its initial cost.
Sends are just really good. Like the Hardened Mudman, but the ogres are coming. The Haven, but the ogres are coming.
Well, these sends
Ogre
are huge.
smash.
800 for Widdowson, 700 for King Downs. Still not tiny sends on the other side either. Drakir's going to leak massively to the 500 send. That's 134% there from Drakir. Lucy, how are you doing? She is going to leak as well, and they both leak before King Downs and Widdowson. Widdowson holding the longest here, but as you guys were saying, with 25% King HP remaining, this race situation just doesn't look good for the side of Abrasiat. I think Barnes Kieran have won this one.
It's just gonna be a
Tenacity is one
tenacity
hell of a
diff, I
truck.
think.
Whoa. Okay.
Really nice line.
Well played, GG. Guys, we do now have a tied series on our hands. It's 1-1.
Yeah. Even though Drakir ended up like in a weird spot after leaking 8, he's just, like abusing the spell overwork and his build with the gun and the bunk that makes it like impossible to want to 12 him. And like the 10 sending 10 just opens that overwork 12 lineup so much.
And they were all in on the 12 cent, and it paid off. And then they went even more all in on the 14 cent, and it paid off again. Great calls.
Yeah, really well played there from Lucy and Drakir, just showing that they are not going to go down without a fight. And now we've got a tied series, so it really is back to being anyone's game here as we move into game number 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright.
And here with those cash out and greed that they can't play, which I think they're fine with.
Let me hop into the next lobby and see if we've got the players in there.
Had a
We do.
quick talk with Drakir about his 12 send. He said, I forgot the pack leader.
I mean, it worked. It worked, so it was a good send, right?
Got his guy.
God, his guy. Alright, guys. We've got a lobby on our hands. We've got players being ready. We've got casters being ready. And it's come down to a best of 3 now, really, right? Because we've got one game for each side, so there's only 3 more games maximum to play. And we've got King Dans and Widdowson coming out of a bit of a momentum backslide, it feels like, because their double chaos game just really didn't go according to plan, even though they got some pretty nice rolls at key stages of the game, it feels like.
I felt like they had a small lead in that early game, and then the income, like maybe they had a line with overwork full re 11 to catch them. But again, that's kind of like a crazy line to go for.
Yeah, like
'Cause if they
you
build
have
on
to be a
11 and you
mind
pro-league
reader.
them,
You have to be a mind reader for that, right? Because, like, Drakir would have leaked everything to Ascend because he was 1200 value on Wave 11. But, like, King Dans and Widdowson, they have to know, one, that Drakir and Lucy are going for that play, and 2, that Drakir's going to go hyper risky with 1200 value, and it's just a very, very tough call to make.
Because if he plays around it and you full send into the Overwork and create an even longer wave, then you're dead.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Even more dead, so
Absolutely.
it's a gamble for sure.
Guys, game number 3 is about to begin, so let's hop straight into that one as we see which side is going to take the first advantage in this best of 5 series. And Drakir with the snap pick there for Fiesta.
Yeah, I mean, they have AoE
Just the
again
cartel.
this time.
Yeah.
And King and Witter don't have that. I mean, they could swap it with King playing Fiesta, but I don't imagine they will.
Well, King still hasn't picked yet, so he does still have the option. And he does!
Fiesta.
Guys, we get to see a Fiesta marathon here in game number 3. What a treat.
Is he just going to play Totem Mask?
And this favors Drakir and Lucy, I think, because Drakir is ending into the Fiesta.
Yeah, I think the funny thing is if King plays an no Fiesta with Totem Mask, it's actually pretty good for him. Because Drakir will feel like he's destroying King with the Sens, and King will be just chilling with an insane roll.
Yep.
I mean, he has the option to go for Adam as well.
He does pick up the Potter Mask, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him play it that way. But no, he's going to go for the Atoms. Okay.
It's Adam on Adam crime.
Oh, and Drakir as well, with the schnoz there, sending the snail into King Dan's Fiesta here on wave 1. So King Dan's would be giga rewarded if he went for the Priestess opener, but instead, Drakir's going to get a pretty big advantage from this wave 1 snail.
The pack rat is just a little unlucky.
Yeah, it's going to be a very,
good,
very long wave.
But, yeah, not in this. And Lucy playing her gun.
Yeah, gun's pretty nice for
roll.
covering a Fiesta teammate, honestly.
So, well, the game is off to a good start for Drakir.
Yep, King Dan's leaking 67% to this snail, while Drakir only leaking 25% to the no-send.
Oh, that's basically GG already.
It's definitely an advantage because Drakir can go 6 workers, whereas King can't.
King forced to play it a little bit safer now, and Drakir does go for the resend. Now, King Dan's didn't send on wave 1, so he's going for a 40 send here. Lucy, though, she just plays the Gargoyle down. She's going to be completely fine, and presumably just pushes up to 6 workers herself.
Yeah. Couldn't go for 5 workers, and well, maybe she could because of the leaks. Yeah, she could have gone for 5 workers because of the leaks.
But
During normal circumstances, she wouldn't be able to go for 4 workers or 5 workers anyway. So
yeah.
And now she's just gonna hold this completely, and the Gargoyle is gonna be
send,
perfect tank for 3. So yeah, 6 workers.
Yep, easy 6 workers there for Lucy. Meanwhile, King Dance, he does get a 40 Mythium resend here on wave 2, and he's going to leak fairly decently, I think.
Pretty good for him.
He does kill another
50?
creep there, 42%.
Oh, just 42.
He's happy with that,
42.
guys.
Yeah,
42 was
obviously,
fine.
He's 5 workers when he did that, but it's the way he had to play the game because of Fiesta sending him, so... He's still going to be able to send 60 onto Lucy if he wants. But Lucy actually gets 2 Gargs out, so I'm pretty sure she just easy holds.
Yep. Meanwhile, Drakir, he's adding the Wild Shroom here on wave 3. He has 6 workers himself, so could still potentially leak to a 60 send from Widdowson. Be interesting to see if he sends that or not. Lucy, obviously, going to be totally fine. I think with 2 Gargoyles can hold 60 send quite easily.
Yeah. And Widdowson goes for that full send, like you mentioned. I mean, Wild Shroom is a very good ad here. If his Adam can tank pretty good, then he should do okay, but it's actually going to not tank much of anything.
I think like 1 or 2 hoppers it's tanking there. But, I mean, he also just has good units on the wave with the Wild Shroom, so I think he's going to do very well. And Lucy, yep, as expected, that's a hold there against the 40 send. King Dan's deciding not to send the 3rd snail there.
Yeah, it's a little... When someone already shows you Gargon too, it's kind of obvious that, oh my god.
Wow.
Drakir just
Beast mode.
masterfully playing this Fiesta.
That's
8
a really
workers,
juicy one.
22% leak.
And then the Brute Re onto Witterson. I doubt he's ready for that. But
Yeah,
Yeah, especially with the treasure hunt, right?
Yeah, she went for the little 40 send on 3, trying to, entice Witterson into pushing. King has a Mudman, but obviously won't harden it because he feels on value, but he's dealing with a 100 send.
Oh, I almost think that the Dino alone could have
Oh.
been better.
Yeah, the thing is, the Dino will still get focused because
Yeah,
the little
because
atom
it's all single
hits it.
target. Yeah, true. So
But-
now I think the Dino has to be focused, yeah. And the Brute into Widderson. He did on-hunt his
Oh.
pack rat last second.
Yeah.
Wow, Widderson with the reads there.
Yeah, that was.
Still going to leak
was
the
a clutch
Brute,
call.
right? But this would have been really bad for him, I think, if he kept that pack rat underground.
And
Then-
17% from
Oh.
Kings. They are happy with that. They
Yeah.
are totally fine.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now it's King Dan's
And
turn to get the perfect Fiesta here on wave 4. So Drakir and King just really passing the baton back and forth on who can get the best Fiesta leaks.
Yeah, they're both playing pretty exceptionally. And now King and Witter have all the pressure. Do they just want this simple 6 send, or are they going to go for something longer?
Oh, I mean, look at the Drakir and Lucy has. 6 cent makes perfect sense.
Yeah, right.
Drakir is super undervalued already.
Lucy
Hey,
basically has nothing on wave 6, and a Cannoneer just demolishes her entire board.
And a mole onto Drakir will just shut down whatever damage he has.
Now, Widderson's 365 value here on wave 5 while receiving a Lizard. He does have Priestess, which is pretty good on the wave, but the
He's
Lizard
leaking
is
pretty
enough to
badly.
overwhelm
It
her.
does-
Yeah,
Yeah,
kills one more, but it's still a
Oops.
36% leak. Again,
Yeah.
I think
it's
that's
so
pretty
sad
good.
to think. Imagine if he has another rat.
Okay,
One
so it's
rat
gonna be
probably
Brute.
allows the spell to do its magic.
I think the
I
leak
think
is
it
just
is.
really
Wow.
good for King and Widderson, though, because
Yeah.
they're going for a big send here. There's 2 Brutes, both sent already. Widderson,
Wow,
will he be
they
able to send a third? I think he can. He's got enough Mythium.
That's a very bold skip from Drakir and Lucy,
Oh, very.
considering the,
Yeah, considering their
yeah.
boards, that's a very risky skip indeed. Lucy, I mean, she's got good value there, over 600, but all of her units are weak here on wave 6, and that's 2 Brutes that she's got to play with. Meanwhile,
3
Drakir
Brutes
is
for
receiving
Drakir.
3 as well. He does have the
Oh,
Canopy,
the
which
Brute.
is exceptionally strong on wave 6, and this
Well,
Atom
not when
is...
it gets taken down by brutes.
Yeah, Brute and the stacking debuff. It's taking 30% bonus
Yeah.
damage. That Canopy died very quickly. Lucy leaks 74%. Drakir leaks
Yeah.
89%. This is a lot of king damage here on wave 6, guys.
Yeah, they have no
And-
king attacks at all.
And it's 15. It was 59 to 41. Win rate. That's changing quite.
That's
quite
changing
rapidly.
very quickly, yeah. Now, Lucy
Yeah,
and
they're
Drakir, they
going
do
down
have the
40%.
Mythium advantage, of course, but they're giving away so much gold here, and their king below 40% now.
Oh, but
They still go for the sends.
Ogre Mimic.
Yeah, but this is
Let's
another
see.
violation of Boone's Law, Offmer, if I'm right. It's like
Yeah.
they've sent the wave after they just leaked big, and King Dans and Widderson, they probably still leak here because Ogre is a
Yeah.
pretty dangerous send, but they've got so much gold to help them with the hold.
Yeah, and they're going
Two
Harden
hardens.
golems. And the Harden is perfect versus the Mimic.
Yeah, but it's not gonna cover the Mimic. It's gonna cover the Ogre.
Oh, this one is.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, the Ogre is going to make short work of them anyways.
Yep.
So we'll see how they do. They're close to value, but like we said, these are the big boy sends.
Yeah, I mean, King Dans is cleaning up the wave very well. He hasn't started focusing the Ogre, so I think he just kills everything but the Ogre, which is
Oh,
really
And
good for
it's
him.
Same
Yeah.
story for Witter.
Same story for Widderson. I mean, the Mimic's getting a lot of gold here. That's a 21 gold Mimic, and it's an Ogre reaching the King, but given how much gold and HP they gave away on Wave 6, this is a really good trade for Abrasiert, I think.
Yeah, I think they're very happy with that.
I mean, it's not terrible for Drakir and Lucy, and they
Yeah,
still
I
have
think-
the workers' advantage, and
So for sure.
also a big income lead.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
it's going to come
see-
down to this Witterson send because he was saving through that.
I can expect Widdowson to leak here to the resend, especially if Lucy adds a
Yeah.
dragon turtle to that dino, which I think she probably will.
I think
Yeah,
they
that
are
has to
looking
be in the
to-
cards.
Yep.
Right, because she knows that.
They're both getting to the full re to 120, which is a
Ooh.
pretty decent Mythium Thresh point on 8.
And they both have
be very
de-hardened mudmen as well, so those things are going to die very quickly here on wave 8. Yeah, already down on both lanes. But Widdowson's Priestess doing exceptionally well there for the off-tanking. And King Dan's, I mean, he has quite a lot more value than Widdowson. It looks like he's doing completely fine as well. The Priestess will go down, but it's done its job. And Widdowson... Oh, she even gets one more heal off there on the Priestess. King Dan's 33%, Widdowson 25%. This could have been so much worse.
Yeah, now they get, I mean, what probably is going to be, I mean, it could just be Big 10, but Big 9 looks reasonable as well.
I mean, King Dan's is going to
gets
reach a
so
Siege
good.
Ram on wave 10 if he wants to do that.
Yeah, I think that's the angle they're going for.
I,
Oh,
does he
King is
get?
preparing for 10 now because he didn't have much anything, but now he has the
Yeah.
Halo.
I have to think of, as well that if King Dan's does go for something like a Siege Ram on 10 into Lucy's build, that probably just ends the game, but she has incredible value. She's 1300 already here on wave 9. She drops the Soul Gate.
It's a tough spot. Drakir is trying to build for 10 because Lucy looks, or yeah, I mean, Lucy's gambling for 9 with the gate. And we'll see. I mean, the thing, he can get a Trinity out, but it's going to be a ramp.
And Widdowson's Priestess does
happens
go
on
down
Widder.
very quickly
Toda
to the
dies.
Dino King up
Oh,
send.
and the wave is killing the archers or the
I think
harpies
they're
now.
okay with that, though. They just need time for the kill.
Yeah,
It's still a
Like,
50% leak for Widdowson, so it is a bit of gold from Drakir and Lucy, but,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cope, right? Because we've got nearly
Yeah.
400 Mythium for Widdowson. There's that Siege Ram send coming out from King Dan's into Lucy's build. This is very
One ram,
dangerous
2 ram.
territory now for Team Barnes Kieran.
Ooh, Ogre, okay. Oh, he's getting double Ogre.
Double Ogre from Widdowson on wave 10. Oh
Huh.
boy.
and what counters the Trinity
Yeah,
better than
Yeah.
one ogre?
one,
It's 2 ogres.
one Ogre's already pretty good against the Trinity, but 2 is even better. And I think Drakir is going to struggle to hold here. Lucy, she does have the King Claw
value.
as well, so she is building against something like a Siege Ram. She's on value, as you say, 1600 value here, but the sends are just absolutely enormous.
Yeah. I do think it's... Widder could have also sent, like, Ram Mole, which I think would lead to 0 units being killed. But
Yeah.
this Ogre does do a lot of king damage, and it's pretty fast.
Lucy really struggling to kill this Siege Ram. It does just
Yeah.
now go down, but the damage has been done. That's going to be a decently sized leak for her. And King Dan's the
mean-
double Ogre making short work of Drakir's lane. That's 125% leak for Drakir. Lucy doing exceptionally well, but it's still 22%, and I think this is just enough to close out the game.
It sucks
Yeah,
that
that-
she went for the gate, because if that was, like, 2 Wanderers or something, she'd actually just full hold this. But she definitely had to hold 9 for their team.
Yeah,
But
and it does look like this is GG here. It's kind of close. But that is a well-played GG, and Abra see it. They take the 2-1 lead in this best-of-5 grand finals.
Imagine losing on wave 10 as Cartel.
Yeah, rough, right?
So rough.
This was a really fast and aggressive game here, played by both teams. We had the Fiesta on King Dan's and Drakir, with a ton of early game income sends and leaks. Then we got the first real pressure play here. This was only a 2-wave skip, by the way. There was Snails on 4 into 180 Mythium on 6 against Drakir, causing massive leaks, massive king damage. Now, sure, they had their counter-attack planned, but after having given away so much gold there on wave 6, King Dan's and Widdowson basically able to fully hold those mega sends on 7, and then just close out the game with this 460 Mythium and 400 against Lucy on wave 10. Absolutely super high tempo gameplay here from both teams.
Yeah, very fast.
Very fast, very aggressive.
I mean, we won't be able to see another Fiesta game from both teams, because Widder and King have both got their win with Fiesta. But we'll see if Drakir or Lucy still wants to play it. Because the early game, the very first few waves did go pretty favorably. It was just that wave 6, like you mentioned, where things went wrong.
Yeah, and wrong in a very spectacular fashion as well, with
Yeah.
losing more than 60% of their king HP, giving away, I don't know, probably 100 gold each to King Dans and Widdowson.
Yeah, that was so massive. Those leaks on 6.
And more to the point, guys, now we have match point already on the table. King Dans and Widdowson only needing to win one more game to take your August crown. So Drakir and Lucy, they're going to need to bring their A game here as we go into game number 4, because this is their last chance.
Yeah, let's see what they can show us. Hopefully, no double accidents like we saw.
Yeah. Alright, guys, it looks like the players are in the lobby and ready, so we are about to get game number 4 underway, and here it comes once again. This is match point now for King Dans and Widdowson. Team Abrasiat on the verge of being your August Nova Cup champions, but Drakir and Lucy, they still have at least one more shot to come back into this series. So without further ado, game number 4, let's go.
I would expect to see chaos, I guess, from one of the King or Witter.
Well, there's a King Dance Chaos.
Yeah.
You called it. Is it gonna
And-
be a Widow Chaos as well?
We have a Drakir Fiesta as well, so he's not scared.
Fiesta Cartel. Yeah, I mean they were doing very very well. Widow on the Cartel as well. So Chaos Cartel and Fiesta Cartel.
Interesting. Tell me
Maybe
about
they
the King
decided
spells,
to-
guys.
Ooh, I mean, we know about embargo. Just leads to some pretty standard mid games. You know, either it's like 10, 13, 11, 14. And then counterattack is pretty interesting because that means you can try plays where you just outplay embargo by doing something like pro leaking on 11, and the enemies literally can't send to protect their 12.
And then you can. There's also Drakir with the Nightmare who can go Pulverizer.
Yeah, I think he's gonna opt for Totem Mask
Yeah.
eventually, which is also
Well-
pretty good with the Pulverizer, like you mentioned. And if anybody rolls, like if King ever rolls like a DK or something, God, I thought King was. Is King really gonna play Sakura Chaos?
Yes, he is, which is
Which
kind
is,
of dicey at the best of times.
Kind of dubious.
Yeah, especially with Fiesta signing him, he might have to just chill on 4 workers.
Yeah, you have to stay 4 workers then, unless you get. I mean, you can roll pixies again, right?
Yeah, that is always possible.
That would be some nice luck for him. And the ping's already coming out, so the Fiesta has been spotted there for Drakir, but he's
Yeah.
getting away with it here. There's no snail coming out in game 4.
Yeah, I would assume his game plan is something like, you know, leak the first few waves, have a maiden or something that protects his 4, makes him look horrible on 5, and then you get the priestess on 5 out of nowhere.
Yeah. That
And
sounds
he's
like
gonna
a very
stay 5
solid line.
workers.
Oh, he's actually going to 6.
Oh, okay. I lied.
I mean, the long waves are really favourable for Drakir and Lucy, right? Because King Dans, he's on 3 workers with that Sakura opener. And more to the point, if Drakir's leaking every wave, King Dans just can never afford to push with this Sakura.
Yeah, I don't think Witter doesn't seem like he even wants to snail after income. Just because King is chilling on 3 workers.
But I mean, okay, sure, it takes longer for Lucy to clear the wave, but Drakir is just leaking so hard.
Yeah,
To a
it
snail.
could be the tough gold. So King does not, in fact, roll the seedling, so he's going to chill on 4 workers here.
Oh
And
wow!
Drakir with the
Perfectly
perfect
clear.
Fiesta leak, 17% there. He's even
And that-
threatening almost 80 send on 3, but just shy of that, and decides not to send at all.
Isn't like a snail? Wouldn't that be 83% leak or something? Like it's such a big difference.
It would have been massive, yeah. King Downs gets the Fire Archer in his split, which is very good against on wave 3 and 4. It's very solid off-tank ability as well, but he is forced to stay on 4 workers, so that's a lot of pressure off of Lucy, who's also on 6 workers herself.
Yeah, she's definitely taking advantage of it. And Drakir is getting a full send here. might be a bit worse than previously, but he did get the cat to 3 stacks, which is the threshold to make it cleanly kill the creeps.
He's still going to leak pretty decently here, but again, with Fiesta, while sending into a Sakura, he's kind of fine with that, and he's been saving his Mythium. He has nearly
he's gonna-
100 already.
Is he gonna do 120? No, he's going for he's
Fiend
going for
DT, I
Fiend.
think.
Yeah,
Fiend
Fiend
DT.
Pretty perfect send. Fiend to kill the Fire Archer DT, so the Sakura is stuck on it.
It is a
True.
good send, but it also means he's going to waste 20 Mythium here, right? Because he's going to have 20
Yeah.
post income, but you don't
Yeah.
really want to send the Snail into that because you want the Fiend here, you want the DT here. Problem is, Kingdan's just nice luck to flower, so he's going to be completely fine, I
Yeah.
think. He's also
Plus
plus
55.
55.
What about Dino and then Turtle after income?
That could have
could
been
be-
pretty solid, yeah.
I think he might just want to save the rest and go big 7 at this
Yeah,
rate.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's what he
Especially now that he
outscore.
sees the flower as well, right?
And this he's still getting these income sends from King.
Yeah, Kingdans looks like he's easily holding this, but he is on 500 value on wave 4, so that's kind of to be expected, I suppose. Lucy causing
I
a
mean-
long wave of her own against the double snail, but she has 9 workers. Realising how high Kingdan's value is, she can kind of push to her heart's content here.
He only paid for 440 of those value though, right?
Yeah, true. True. A lot of that is Sakura stats.
Sells his Angler to get out the Priestess on 5, so Wooderson... It might still leak if Wooderson decides to send full, just because
Yeah.
still lower value.
There is no split here as well. Drakir can't
Yeah.
afford to add anything in the split, so we'll have to see how much aggro goes on this Priestess. Widdowson does not add the Snail. It
Yeah.
looks kind of perfect, actually. The Priestess tanking just the boss, the wave on the Neko. He probably will still leak, but it's going to be a really good Fiesta if so. Oh, wait, no, he's just one-shotting the Dino as well. I think this is just a hold, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
He
Dino
is-
went on the Priestess instead of the Angler, so the Priestess took a bit more damage, which means it healed a bit more.
Yeah, that's a pretty
was-
clean hold there from Drakir. Now, there is a resend coming out, though, so we've got Dino from Kingdans into Lucy. She places the Gate Guard. She can't afford another one, though, so either she sells this Proton, or she just adds a couple more cat stacks. Yeah, there's the cat stacks.
Yeah.
Akira adds a mask
Yeah, so I don't
for the
think...
split.
Yeah, the 3-3 split should be fine, considering he has the Neko behind the Priestess. It does a lot of single target and should help it protect itself.
This is still a Brute coming out from Widdowson, though, so we'll have to see.
But the Brute is going right.
The Brute is going right. It will kill the Mask very quickly and then wrap onto this Nekomata. Nekomata with the Wave 6 debuff. It does die extremely quickly, actually. This
Yeah, but it looks like a Pro League.
Yeah, it's
if he
gonna
can
be-
kill
was
this
it-
last one.
Can he kill
Oh,
one
she
more?
can't. No.
63%. I mean, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And meanwhile,
Not too
Lucy,
good either.
easy holding. Lucy's even going to be able to cover most of this in the mid, I think.
Gateguard is perfect for that kind of thing. And
Yep.
Lucy going for Triad Son of her own with probably double Brute, and Drakir going for a Mole
Oh, okay.
versus...
Is the
I
Brood,
don't know
just
what you're
killing the
supposed to
Atom? No, the Atom just kills the Brood.
All
King's
right.
build is just too funny. It's
Yeah.
kind of impossible to send versus it. I mean,
That's-
Mole seems fine, I guess.
Yeah, as would pretty much anything else. I don't see Kingdowns having options to hold here. He didn't really roll anything particularly good for Wave 7 either, so he's adding a Green Devil and a
Value will be
Gargoyle.
his
I mean,
answer, I guess.
yeah, it's the best thing he can add, but it's just 0 damage on this Wave 7, and this is a guaranteed leak here from Kingdowns.
Hackrat gonna have to do the heavy lifting this way.
Oh, yeah. Now,
So much
Widdowson,
magic damage.
Widdowson's hardening his Mudman here. He's getting a 180
Yeah.
send, though, while minus 115 value. I think we can expect pretty decent leaks from both members of Abraceet here on Wave 7.
Yeah, and Brute is just the perfect send there.
Widdowson had a weakened Mudman as well.
Yeah, he did. He's going to leak fairly decently there for Widdowson. That's 77% and 84 for Kingdowns as well. This is pretty good here for Drakir and Lucy.
Another
Barnes Kieran
Fiesta.
taking
Drakir
first blood.
leaking, but Lucy covering.
Yeah,
And
that's
she's on 14 workers now.
Lucy has the perfect cover units in the Gate Guard and the Atoms.
42% is just a perfect pro leak there from Drakir. But the important thing, I think, guys, is the king damage here, because King Dance and Widdowson dropping down to around about 50% here on wave 7, and Drakir and Lucy looking really good here in game number 4.
Yep.
And we see resend coming out from everybody except for King Dance.
Yeah, saving a bit. Probably realized he's not in a great spot this game. Might actually have to do some of the dirty work and let Widdowson carry. Widder going for King regen. Gonna be full resend onto him from Lucy. He is closer to value, but 1D hard and golem.
Yeah. The Green Devils are just
possible.
perfect for tanking the wave here, though, and letting the gun do what it needs to do. So I think this should be a pretty comfortable hold for Widdowson, honestly. And King Dance getting the triple DT here. Let's see how the aggro
he's
splits. It does
leaking.
all go on the Sakura. And
Yeah.
yeah, it does look like a leak. Not a particularly bad one, but the Sakura stack is permanent damage. 42% there
Yeah.
for King. And Widdowson, it looks like a leak as well. So more chip
25.
damage here on wave 8.
Yeah, and poor King is kind of like just stuck lower workers trying to save because he got kind of bullied this game.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
dropping.
okay.
They're dropping really low now, guys. They're below 40%. This just looks like a reversal
Oh,
from
yeah,
game
yeah.
number 3, right?
Lucy going for imps here, whereas King and Widder are Widder is definitely on value. Kind of has uncomfortable gold to build anything.
And the really
get
interesting
a
thing
golem.
here is whether Widdowson decides to shift a little bit of gold to get his Vulcan Cannon out on wave 10, right?
Yeah. Does he just sell a guard for golem? Okay, yeah, I was gonna say
he's-
that's like the best gold.
Yeah,
But
Widdowson
he's never
sniffed
gonna
it.
harden here, right?
No, he won't harden. He can't afford to.
And there's gonna be a resend into him. Imps are not amazing versus the golem compared to Ogre or something, but
Yep.
they still do quite a bit of damage. He's sniping one of the imps.
King Dance should leak pretty decently, though, to the 140 send here, right?
Yeah, he's quite undervalued.
Yeah.
Widdowson.
A flower
this
is not
one-
getting its value's worth, I think.
Looks like
either.
he's chilling.
Widdowson's easily holding, so that's pretty clutch because they could have been in some serious trouble otherwise. 44% leak, meanwhile, for King Dance. And at least King Dance and Widdowson, they have a decent chunk of Mythium stored up. We could have another Siege Ram on 10 if we wanted to from King.
Yeah, it seems like that could be part of the plan. Don't see them saving longer. It's gonna be 4 eyes into Drakir, which is not a bad send versus the Avenger. It's generally a pretty hard unit to leak on 10, but it does. Oh, Shaman.
Shaman on 10 from King Dance, okay. That's something that we don't see very often.
Yeah.
And is the reason we don't see it very often because it's not very good?
Yeah, I will say Lucy's build might be one of the ones where Shaman isn't so bad because she has basically no good damage for the wave.
Yeah.
And usually the problem with the Shaman is you're letting people kill the boss because the Shaman doesn't protect it at all. But in this case, I think it's not that bad.
It's going to absolutely shred through her, like frontline tanks, kill the Harbinger in seconds. And what's more, if that Shaman reaches the King with bosses alive,
Yeah.
it's just going to be obscene amounts of damage. So let's see.
Wait. Okay. The Shaman itself does like a reasonable amount of magic damage.
Yeah. Now this will be a decently sized leak here from FC Lucy. The boss is just on a rampage with that Shaman buff, but Drakir with the Sovereign out of nowhere. He's just holding against the Four Eyes Dino Send.
Yep. I mean, it's probably like the correct send to try and leak it. Like maybe GK is better, but
I mean, the
hard to
GK just gets
say.
pulled into the split by the mask, right? So it's really,
Yeah.
really hard to try and leak that. And yeah, Drakir even able to deal some damage in the mid. So as a result, these massive sends only dealing 19% HP damage against Drakir and Lucy.
And it's going to be Pulverizer for Lucy, probably Pulverizer for Drakir too, then, I would imagine.
Yeah,
If
but
they're not going for sort of...
But Polarizer on the LOD, is that really worth it?
King Dans and
For
Widdowson,
sure.
they've entered desperate territory, though. This is a full push from King Dans, a heavy push from Widdowson. There's a counter-attack picked up. Maybe they're hoping to catch Lucy and Drakir unprepared with an embargo pickup and a big 12 send. But Drakir and Lucy, they both take Pulverizer, so they are, in fact, prepared for this.
I mean, I could see 12 working. The King Ping is only at 49 stacks.
It'll work if they skip, but I think they might see that they don't build.
Yeah, and King Dans is definitely leaking here to no send. He's on 1190
I mean,
value, and it's not particularly phenomenal value either. The
The
Fire Lord
Fire
is
Lord
tanking
is
perfectly.
doing very decent. I don't think is he. No, there's still too
Or it's
many.
too weak, unfortunately. I think.
Yeah,
Too many boars.
too many lost stacks in the early game.
Yeah.
But this is
another
counter-attack
one,
value there, plus 55 Mythium for King Downs. But surely Drakir and Lucy just go for some income king play here. Maybe they even go
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean-
kill.
Their units definitely look super weak on 12, so I would be very surprised to see them skip.
Wow, and
Okay,
skip
well,
they do.
Consider me surprised.
Okay, I mean, King Dans and Widdowson, this was their desperate play, and it looks like it may have a chance of paying off here because Drakir, I mean, he does have a
Lucy's
kingpin.
just super on value.
Yeah, but
Lucy's
it's
on
a super
insane
weak
value.
Kingpin. The Hades is the redeeming
Yeah.
quality here.
Like the imps, like if she can just start picking them off, Hades
Yeah,
is just gonna go
Imps
crazy.
into
Okay, they go for
Hades.
King Spell. They're not that crazy.
Only 4 though, and it looks like Lucy's saving her Mythium. So they're... I don't know, these sends are massive, guys. It's 500 for Drakir, it's 560 for Lucy. Let's see if this Hades starts popping off. It is
it is
chomping
4
on the last
units.
hits.
It is
5
farming.
units.
Oh, it's already
6
summoning
units.
the second dragon. Oh,
Yeah.
it's just going absolutely ham on the Hades. King Downs, he does leak 67% to no send there, but he with his full push. And Lucy
I mean-
82, Drakir 76. There's a shutdown given, but I don't think they die.
No, they don't. They definitely
Got some
don't.
king damage, but yeah, they don't die.
Yeah, they have the king damage up already, and then they added some spell, but they are getting low here.
And now they can go for the kill on wave 13 against King and Widdowson. King Downs, his value is in very, very red territory here on wave 13.
Try.
He does get the Phoenix, but Drakir already has
but-
the double 4 eyes to counter that.
What is Wither to do? He has a gun, he has a
Yeah.
small gun, and he
Two
has
dehardened Mudmen.
two weakened golems. I mean, he has to sell them, basically.
It's not a good spot for him for sure.
He did re-roll
He can-
and find an Arc Tear, so that's something.
Yeah,
Yeah, and if
finding
he's-
the damage on the wave is going to be the tough part. I
He's
mean, the
on
Archer is
value.
very good into the ogres. I'll say that.
Yeah. He's on
on value,
value. But King Downs,
Yeah,
he's
but-
minus 700 here on wave 13.
Wither
Four
is
eyes-
on value, but 800 of those is weakened golems on
Yeah.
13. Like, that's not being on value while
Yeah.
being on value.
The Phoenix
then
aggro,
yes, another-
absolutely perfect here for King Downs, though, but I just don't think it can ever be enough against this massive send
No.
here on wave 13. That's 107% leak for King Downs, and Widdowson, that's a 61% leak for him. And guys, I think we have a game number 5 on our hands.
Yeah.
Wither's
that
actually
way.
doing surprisingly well. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be enough, but it's surprisingly well still.
Yeah, King tried his best. I mean, he had great Phoenix positioning, like you mentioned, just not enough value to keep the Phoenix alive after it tanks the split.
Yeah, his aggro was perfect, but as you said, his minus 700 value just wasn't enough. He certainly outperformed here with being 700 under value, but the 620 Mythium send was just too much, even for perfect positioning. And as a result,
I mean,
guys... Go ahead, Scov.
They both outperformed what they were supposed to be doing. It's
Yeah.
just wasn't close to being enough still.
Yeah, the sends were massive, and like you said, Widdowson has a pretty bad build on 13 with dehardened golems and Vulcan Cannon being his main DPS. So yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable for those guys to not quite be able to hold these mammoth sends here, and as a result we do have a 2-2 drawn series on our hands with everything to play for now as we go into game number 5.
Yeah, it's all tied up, and we have 3 players who cannot click Fiesta. So will Lucy give us the treat?
It's great to
We'll
see
have to
Fiesta
see.
doing so well this tournament. It makes for some very exciting games, very fast, tempo-based early gameplay, and it certainly kind of keeps things spicy and interesting, right?
Yeah, and they still haven't managed to pick up the Chaos win. It's not performing well enough, it seems. I mean, that was very unlucky, to be fair.
Perhaps
Just
Chaos is more of a for fun play than actually being too strong.
Yeah, it's I mean, starting Sakura, getting Fiesta sending to you with Chaos, it's just a bit of a nightmare, and the units he ended up with, just
Yeah,
all the same weak waves, no strong waves.
he had to go for the flower on 4.
Yeah, that just
I mean, the alternative was an Atom and a Gargoyle, I think, which is not optimal. But the problem was that the flower just set him up for so many weaknesses later on.
Yeah. It did do wonders for him there on wave 4, but it just wasn't enough later on in the game, right? It had all the same weak waves as his Sakura, and Drakir and Lucy just took advantage of that to the fullest.
Yeah, I've begun having this principle that I only go Sakura if I have
they swapped the send order.
if I have Bunk as well.
Okay, interesting. So Kingdan's wanting to send in Drakir here for his all-important game number 5. But guys, let's see who can be the August champions. Everything to play for. Game number 5, let's go.
Pawn
Cash
top.
out Greed from the Kia Lucy, Chaos from Witter. Oh, Chaos from King, I mean.
Oh, and
Yeah,
it's a
yes,
pawn shop
Brendan.
game as well.
Yeah, it's the one. I mean, he has very
And
nice
the Witter is a
stuff
Chaos as well.
there. Yeah, double pawn shop. I mean, if they get going, it's gonna be a nightmare to play against them in the mid game.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
They're gonna have no weak waves, basically.
All right, we have Atom Angler opener there from Widdowson, one of my favourites. I really like the way the Atom covers the Angler's weak waves in the early game, and then obviously the Kingpin power spike kicking in around wave 8 just to carry your build home.
Yeah, the Atom really only needing tanks, and the Angler basically being able to do nothing besides be a meat shield in that early game. So it's a very nice combo.
And Drakir
Yeah.
going back for his corner gun, so let's see if that will work better for him than it did the previous time around.
Nightmare Butcher. But no amazing setup besides that.
Oh, Nightmare Butcher's pretty solid. I think the Windhawk pairs very well with Nightmare Butcher as well.
And cash out from Lucy, which we don't usually see, but she's kind of out of the standard masterminds to play besides Castle, and I don't know if she wanted to relive her Castle experience from earlier.
Yeah, right. Widdowson's
Cash
Angler
out
does
with
go down
Nightmare is
very
pretty good.
quickly. Yeah,
That 5 workers is nice.
the cash out Nightmare, right, means you always get the 5 workers, so it's a pretty good addition to the Nightmare build, because sometimes you get trapped on 4 workers until wave 3 starts, until wave 2 starts, sorry, and it just gives you an extra, 3 or 4 Mythium, which doesn't sound like much, but it all adds up.
I'm entirely unsure why King built this extra looter on one, but maybe he wants another pack rat later.
I'm seeing in the chat that there's quite a few people apparently surprised that the players aren't going for quadruple lock-in banker here in game number 4.
Yeah, that seems like the correct decision from all of them. It's very surprising they didn't go for it.
Yeah, I mean, imagine quadruple lock in Banger here.
It would be pretty clowny in game number 5 of the Nova Cup. Though I think Banker actually has a 100% win rate, right? Because Widdowson played it when the game was already over.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Beast unit.
Absolute beast. Banker, 100% win rate in Nova Cup. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I mean, its main issue with lock-in is that Banker feels kind of horrible to play on low income.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's a lot stronger when you just get it with YOLO or Cattell, and that can kind of smooth out your early game.
Alright, we have Kingdan's keeping both rats above ground here. He didn't find anything in his role that he wanted to build more, but he's easily holding against this DT send on 3. And there's only income really coming out against all 4 players, so don't expect to see any leaks here. And perfect off-tanking here for
Yeah.
FC Lucy as well. just guaranteeing the hold there. It's only a lizard, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Poor Wooderson is staying 5 workers, trying to get out his bounty, I would guess. Kinda needs to, yeah, he needs to send again to get it, which doesn't feel that great.
And he's on 410 value here on wave 4, so a little bit of...
What's the rush, though, to get it? It's
Yeah, it
only
would have been fine to just build a tree here.
Yeah,
And, I mean, you want to start gathering these synergies, and tree's a very strong early game unit that you can convert into a strong late game synergy. But
Yeah.
prioritizing
and
that
the
bounty.
bounty is not stacked very high, so
Yeah.
still a benefit to keeping it
I
upgraded.
think Lucy will go 8 workers if she can still get the butcher out. But maybe not.
she has to be feeling that Widdowson's very low workers here, though. She sees
Yeah.
the Bounty Hunter upgrade. She knows that she's not really under any pressure.
But this also allows her to choose to save into King if she wants. Because King is obviously very, very strong on 5 with the Pilgrim, but less so on 6.
And she... Oh no, she goes for the Fiend here.
Okay.
But Drakir's got the Cannoneer Send coming out into Widdowson's build here on wave 5. Widdowson, though, he nice lucks the
Yeah.
perfect unit for wave 5 there with the Desert Pilgrim.
Beast mode.
I mean, that's how you play Chaos.
He is also overvalued, so I think he could have built most things to hold here.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but
You know,
not many
Pilgrim
things
is
are
nice.
as good as a Pilgrim on 5.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
is certainly nice.
The Pilgrim is perfectly tanking the boss there for Widdowson, so very nice positioning from this young man. And as a result, I just expect this to be a very easy hold for him. Presumably the Bounty Hunter does go down here, but he'll have enough units left alive to clean up the Cannoneer.
Yeah, the Adam just helping out here. It's just such a strong early game unit.
Yep. Bounty Hunter just now dead, but it's an easy hold there for Widdowson. Meanwhile, King Dance, he did treasure hunt 1 rat here and is just able to hold, but it's a very long wave, and once again, he's saving his Mythium here. So it's a double Brute Send into Drakir on wave 6. And Drakir, with the corner gun, with the Necromata, is really not looking fantastic here on wave 6.
Yeah, I mean, you can sell for
Is
an
he gonna upgrade
antler,
here
but
or get it?
he also might be digging in his reroll right now. I'm unsure. Yep, he was, and he finds
Yuzora. Okay,
and
pretty
fixes
solid.
his split. Yeah, that's a huge find for him. Even has the Sea Dragon synergy already down. That'll help.
Perfect. What a gamer. Still a 160 Mythium Send. The rat does pull both brutes away from the gun and onto the Azora. This gun tanks perfectly. Offma, this is what you were talking about. It just tanked 1 or 2 golems there, and just as a result, very, very nice aggro in the lane in general. But still, it is 160 Mythium Send, despite lovely aggro. That's
man.
still a 60% leak there. But meanwhile, FC Lucy easily holding against the no send, and probably able to clear up all of this in the
And
mid.
gets perfect. Yeah, I think so, because a budget nightmare should cover 2 brutes easily.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and looks like that's the case.
He's
Yeah.
saving onto King, and King is not looking amazing on wave 7. He does always have the option to double on dig, and probably be close to value, so it's just going to be income.
Yep, Lucy not deciding to go for a try-hard send here. She just wants to take her income, get her economy rolling. And what's
Yeah,
more, she
King is
might
very
force
close.
King to keep both rats above ground as well. So if she goes for an income send and he keeps all of his pack rats above ground, then that's a bit of an economic victory for Lucy, I think.
Yeah. But then again, King also able to utilize the rats to hold his weak waves. And, I mean, he's gotten good value out of them so far. He's keeping up in total Mythium, even though he's a bit behind in workers. Lucy, obviously, a bit ahead of everyone.
It's 180 Mythium send here against King Dance, so even though it's a full income send, it's still not too shabby. But I think with his pack rats above ground and his 800 value, he's going to do just fine. Oh,
And
that
his
Pilgrim
units are
smurfing.
just split tanking perfectly. Like,
Yeah.
they're all taking damage,
Yeah.
and the Pilgrim is getting so much value, even without doing any damage.
Gonna be a pack leader into the Nightmare build. Pretty staple send, to be honest. It's very hard for Nightmare to deal
Oh,
with.
yeah.
And the Maiden, but up
Upper
split as
split.
well, so
It's
The
really
wave.
important now if the Maiden gets onto the wave or not, because if that False
Yeah.
Maiden gets stuck trying to kill a pack leader, then this can be a pretty big leak from Lucy. But on the other hand, if the Maiden does get to cast the spell on the wave, it could just be an easy hold.
Yeah, she even has the Butcher, which would heal it up quite a bit from the spellcast. So, pretty unusual synergy, but very strong on these arcane waves.
Oh,
Pack
the
leader is going
pack
left.
red.
For fun?
It is an even heighted split on the right, but pack leader I feel should have gone to the right there.
Yeah, I think it's
Oh,
like
but
the thing
the
with the
spell,
snail.
the spell. Oh, it does get the spell off,
Yeah.
but it doesn't get the life steal.
Yeah, but because it got the spell in, the damage was done, and it looks like Lucy is
Yeah.
going to be able to hold here, I think. The Nightmare reaching critical mass.
Small leak.
Okay, 33% for Lucy,
Waldo
50%
over
for
there, though.
Waldo, though. Drakir, we were watching the wrong lane. The Dino Snail caused the most damage there.
I'm gonna assume his gun died because he's Giga on
Yeah.
value otherwise.
Yeah.
Bit of a mistake considering Lucy's holding so much better, minus 140.
Yep, while receiving the pack leader send.
But here we go, Lucy and Drakir saving the whole time. Maybe just looking to pressure this 10, where they don't look amazing. They have the pins, both of them, but
Kingdom has a kingpin, but it's on 43 stacks.
yeah, it's a baby pin for sure.
Kingdans
Yeah,
also
there's
has
this-
150 value hidden under the ground right now, so
Yeah.
if he sniffs a wave 10 send coming, he's just going to be overvalue.
And if he ups the Tempest in the middle, he's gonna have some decent damage from
For sure.
those guys.
Or you can roll Zerker and Daphne.
Yeah, that works too, I guess.
I mean, just casually rolling the two best units in the game for that wave, sure.
This
Or you
does
hit
have to
the
be a
bank.
wave.
Or I mean, something we're not talking about though. Both Widow and King has the bankers right now, so maybe they might go for them.
That's almost certainly the right play. So Drakir and Lucy, they do go for this wave 10 send. We see the ogres coming out from both, and a brute from Drakir to boot.
Ooh.
Widdowson and
Okay.
Kingdans saving their Mythium.
I mean, this is what we call being on value for King. But
He has
See if it's enough.
270.
I mean,
What
they're
does he
both
go
getting-
for?
Both getting the kingpins out.
And
Widow
Widdowson's
is
actually
also
plus
on
2
value.
now that he gets his Kingpin value kicking in.
Yeah, the king club plus the kingpin combined, that's quite good. I think they do both recognize that they need a build for here, so it's going to be a Zerker and... Okay,
Oh, Ranger as well.
it's a reasonable build, yeah. I
So-
mean, the Zerker is quite good versus all this impact damage.
So pretty big sends here, 300 for Widdowson, 280 for Kingdowns. They're both on value though. The Ogre is actually not quite
Yeah.
getting sniped there for Kingdowns, so
Someone
as
is
a
finishing
result
him off.
that is going to be a leak I think for the King. Widdowson
look at
though,
Witter.
that's an easy hold for this young man.
Yeah, big
And
stash
King
on the
is not
kingpin.
leaking badly at all.
No.
Yeah, this is just a pro league for them now.
It is a 25 gold shutdown though from Kingdowns, but honestly I just think this is a very, very good trade for Team Abraceet.
Yeah,
And they do have all the Mythium in the world right now.
Yeah, they
They're gonna
certainly
go
do.
for it.
Forcing the income resends from Drakir and Lucy because they're feeling the pressure.
wow. Okay, he goes investment because I guess he's like he wants to go long to 13 and just wants investment to keep him his economy alive while starving.
Oh man, he could sell the Kingpin. For 13.
It's a good play.
It is a good play.
I'll
Like the
sell you.
Kingpin, it doesn't have a lot of stacks, so it's kind of weak. And it's
Yeah.
especially weak on 13. It's with the low amount of stacks, it's not really good on 14 either. It's weak on 15, 16. It's also bad. 17, it kind of comes into its own right, but
Too little, too
it's
late.
not really. Yeah, I mean, Kingpin is good for 8 till 12, right?
Yeah. You want that mid-game power spike from the Kingpin.
8 till 12 plus 14,
Mm-hmm.
I suppose.
But this is looking like a wave 13 send,
that's
I
a-
guess, against Drakir and Lucy.
England is leaking.
He is, yeah. He pushed very, very hard here. He's on 17 workers. He hunted both pack rats. I mean, he's killing a couple more quill boars, but this will be a 50% leak to no send and a 25 gold shut. Well, okay, he got a dino, but still. I think
And Drakir is leaking. Oh, not Drakir. Witter is also
Witter.
leaking.
Widdowson,
yeah.
and that was a
That's
50
another-
gold shutdown from Widdowson. Okay, guys, I mean, you've got a pretty sizable lead, but you are going to lose that if you just keep on giving away shutdowns to income King Sens.
Yeah, and they actually do take king damage here, which is pretty bad considering that they were un-one-shottable, and now they're slightly more one-shottable.
They are.
Obviously, they're still pretty far ahead, but
They've just given quite a lot of gold to Drakir and Lucy, though. That's going to help a lot when this 13 cent comes.
And Lucy is getting deceptively strong with the GA double.
yeah, definitely has a lot of options there. She even has other sources of damage, so can even use the Doppler as some sort of some good tank value on 13.
Yeah. I mean, that is the point that you wanted with the lifesteal. That sure deals a lot of damage. But you want it to tank a bit as well.
Yeah, sure. And it even has the GA, so it can go down once and come back.
Yeah.
I mean, presumably it's going to be income for Drakir and Lucy and just try and live.
It is. Yeah, we see the income coming here. It's just a lot of turtles from Lucy.
The Sens are enormous,
Shaman
though.
Centaur.
Shaman
And then we got
Centaur.
the Shaman Centaur.
The tech.
The tech. Is it that good on 13? Probably not, but it is
I
pretty funny.
mean,
It is pretty funny, yeah.
it does get the swift or the piercing damage
Yeah,
to
I'm not
count the
sure.
swift tanks.
I'm not sure these tanks are that swift, but I mean, Centaur is still a pretty high DPS unit when it's cleaving, and gun usually has
Yeah, and
no split.
there are a lot of those units that is going to be hitting all the time.
Drakir and Lucy should be able to get to max King attack as well. Looks like yes, they have 10 out of 10 there.
Oh,
Don't think they can
Centaur
add
got
any spells, though.
Beast.
Oh, the Centaur's going to snack on those looters. This is King Dan's just knowing that Drakir is going to build 10 looters here and sending the Cleavy boy to chew on them.
I will say the Shaman is a lot of king damage though, so that's
Yep.
a completely real reason to send it as well.
Mhm.
See how the double does. It is split tanking something right now.
Yeah, but
Everything
now
is
it's
dead
tanking a
besides it.
little bit too
King
much.
Centaur is doing 5k. They're doing so much damage, these Centaurs.
Yeah.
I think they can survive this, though.
Yeah.
That's 100% on Drakir, 117 on Lucy, but surviving
the
is still pretty rough.
Centaurs are not a lot of king damage.
Exactly, right? Like, the Shamans add a lot of damage, but the Centaurs are not great single target. The problem is, just look at the workers. We have 25 and 22 for Widdowson and Kingdoms. Lucy and Drakir on 14 and 16. In fact,
Yeah,
Widdowson
just
continues
pushing
pushing
hard.
here.
Pushing hard for
Yeah, and
Keen, it looks like.
Drakir and Lucy had to send, so there's no pressure on Wither and King.
I mean, they are going to go for the overbuild play. We'll see if they can pull it off. I mean, the overbuild and send play, like, it could work.
They need to
But
overbuild
they-
by a lot, though, right? Because Widdowson is fully pushing here. He's on 35 workers, even going up to 36 now. This Wave 15 send is going to be pretty big. And despite Lucy getting a Hades, presumably, it's just the send is going to be massive.
Yeah, the Hades is not gonna do it on his own.
I wonder if she'll just opt to go for full caskets over getting the Hades. Because both the Hades and the Doppel need a lot of tank value.
Yeah,
So getting both on 15 can be pretty rough.
I think Widdowson's going to leak no send here. His shutdown bounty is only 25 gold, so not too helpful for Drakir and Lucy, and it does cause a long way for his 37 workers to fetch their Mythium.
Yep. At least it's obvious that Drakir and Lucy have to send now.
Yeah.
Oh, Lucy's just suiciding as well.
The
Yeah,
wave
it's
is
gonna be a
just-
bit too late, I think. But
Yeah.
Yeah, but seeing that there's no way she holds, she
Yeah.
might as well try to break King.
It's
But
respectable.
Drakir is... Yeah. And
is
more King
has
damage.
a Giga build, a healing, Iron Scales, and a potentially Chieftain buff to Ziria.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, just-
that's some stall value there for King Dens.
Yeah, I mean, Drakir is the closest to recommended value, I think, but he also doesn't have like a true answer to this wave. Oh no!
Well,
Killed all the little looters,
Oh, rest in peace.
but doesn't want to feed the Needler snacks, and he has Pawn Shop, of course. So
yeah, that's one gold per looter lost.
He's just building them back again, though.
We're back.
Oh no, he lost 5 gold.
The looters return from the grave just to give the Needler bonus attack speed. Oh, the sends are massive. We have 680 for Drakir,
The Needler
920
didn't
for
kill
Lucy.
A single.
Oh, that's
The Needler
something.
didn't kill a single looter.
Somehow it's on 0 mana after shooting at looters, but
I'm pretty sure the wave just clears them beforehand.
Lucy 188%. Widdowson not far behind. Kingdans, it looks like
Hold
he
on.
will leak as well.
Yeah, and
And
leaks the first. King's leaking
Drakir
first.
is holding on for the longest, and he's at the top of his
Uh,
lane. Guys, this could be a bit of an upset here.
This
I
is,
think Barnes Kieran have just snatched this one from the
Yeah.
jaws of defeat. Absolutely incredible play here. Wow.
What?
What a turn of events.
Wow. I'm just gobsmacked, guys. This game was all but done for in favour of Abraseat. Then, as soon as they spot the suicide push there from Widdowson on 14, FC Lucy with the quick reaction, pushing all of her gold into workers herself, and as a result, managing to leak Kingdowns, even with a pretty solid Wave 15 build, just in time to get the win here on Wave 15, with Drakir holding long enough, thanks to his pawn shop, thanks to his white main buffing his tanks for the longest time. Really solid play there for Barnes Kieran.
Yeah. I'm kind of shocked, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just really... I mean, look at the graph, right? There's a
Yeah.
28% win chance on Wave 11. There's a 36% win chance on Wave 14. And then there's, of course, 100% win chance on Wave 15 when Drakir and Lucy snatch this one. This was all but one for Kingdans and Widdowson. And yet...
Kind of important to remember that 11 kind of just made their king killable. Like,
Yep.
if they didn't double Pro League to Income King, then they would not be. They would be at 100% King, and they'd probably never lose the race. They even took more King damage after the 14, so they probably it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and not just the king damage as well, but there was some serious shutdown gold
Yeah.
there as well, right? I think Widdowson was 50 gold, Kingdans was 25, so that's 75 gold each for Drakir and Lucy on top of the leak gold, and that just gave them enough value to be able to do well enough on Wave 13 that they stayed in the game there on 28%, and then the quick wits of FC Lucy to full push her workers into Widdowson's suicide play. Ah, man, what a clutch ending to the series. This was pretty exciting stuff.
I wonder what the reasoning behind Witter just suicide pushing is. I mean, aren't they far enough ahead that...
Yeah, I think he just wanted to end the game because, there should be no counterplay to it. But I think, they honestly just took a little too much king damage from, him leaking on 14, and it ended up, giving... it should not be losable because king should hold the longest. But, Kier managed to just find a pretty good hold.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they could have went for an overbuild 16 play and they never lose, but
Yeah, I mean, they
I
certainly decided to
understand why
make it
they're doing
spicy for us. But guys, we have with us now in the chat Drakir and FC Lucy, and man, you guys just absolutely snatched that one right out of the jaws of hell. Congratulations on the win there, guys.
Yeah, thank you. That was
Thank you.
fucking crazy.
You must have thought that the game was over, right? Kingdans and
yeah,
Widdowson had a really big lead in that one. And then, obviously, you saw the suicide play on Widdowson, Wave 14. Very quick reactions there from you, Lucy, to go for the full push on 14, and just barely able to leak Kingdans fast enough, despite him having a really good Wave 15 build. And man, what an insane victory there. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
you.
I was really slow at reacting, to be honest. There was Drac telling me.
Yeah, I mean, we were initially trying to hold 15 without sending, and then he leaks the entire wave to Nosen, so we were like, oh fuck, you should Sui, I think. Try to raise. And thankfully, I had a lot of, my build basically
Full
consisted
delay.
of only tanks, so
Yeah.
it was like the perfect build to stall. It
Yeah.
was very nice.
You
Perfect,
seem to
perfect.
have killed some of those looters and brought them back to life.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was trying to get like a gold threshold where I can build like a red eyes, but because I knew the Needler was coming red, but I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
manage to figure that out, so I just went for a second Arcter.
It's all good. The Needler didn't get any mana from the looters anyways.
Yeah, I got the.
Oh no,
lucky
the
there.
cleave on the cleave on the boss wave just clears the
Yeah.
looters before
Yeah.
Needler gets to attack them.
Pretty nice
What a
luck,
sick
nevertheless,
series.
though, guys.
How did you feel in that third game when you picked Fiesta? Did you expect King to also be Fiesta?
Yes, we
Okay.
saw them swap the pick order, and then we thought, oh, they might try to Fiesta into Lucy.
I
Wanted
see.
to
was
fuck
like
me
the-
again.
That was, like,
Yeah,
the
that
idea.
castle game was rough.
Yeah, bit unlucky draft there.
Yeah, the castle into Chloro Pixie Fiesta.
Yeah, I mean, it went pretty okay until my enter didn't pick any Rokos.
Yeah, I was very surprised that your fire put dives there because you have the normal positioning, but maybe just the no split messed it up.
Yeah, usually it picks up 2.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, when we saw the matchup in that game, where we saw the Chloropixie Fiesta sending into a castle player, we kind of thought you guys were doomed, but you made a really good run of it. And in fact, as the castle player, you had the highest workers in the game, like for a good few waves there. So pretty impressive dealing with the pressure there from the Pixie Fiesta player. Ultimately did lose that game in the end, but man, what an intense 5-game series. We've had some really fast games as well, right? We had a couple ending on wave 10 or 11, and
Yeah. Never past 15, I think.
yeah.
I mean, this is the best way to do a series, right?
Yeah.
Long series, but fast games.
Yeah.
Fast and
Nice.
aggressive.
Pretty intense.
So how many
that,
Nova Cup wins is it for you guys now?
Is it
Think,
the 4th or?
yeah, I think the 4th.
They're in a
Or
row
maybe-
though,
maybe-
right?
Maybe it's no. The last one we didn't make it to the finals.
Yeah.
We got knocked out in the semis. What might be my 5th because I played one with Genome.
Yeah, what a beast.
1-1 with.
Carried
I
by
didn't win
Little
with off sadly.
Bro. That's why he's on the cast instead. He knows his
Yeah,
place.
I retired.
You retired after 2022.
In that game 4, when you saw King leak on 11, were you just worried that they go for Giga overbuild and bait play that you didn't send on 12 as well?
I did consider that. So that's why we didn't send. I
Mhm.
thought our values were good enough, so I just made the call that I do some king ups, so we
Yeah.
don't die randomly,
Mhm.
which I think might have saved us the 4 king
Yeah, I
ups
think
we
so.
did there.
You were very low.
Yeah, and then we just since he leaked again, we
Yeah.
kind of saw that he just sweet pretty much, so we just sent on 13, because also Wither doubled hardened his golems.
Yep. Fair
So
enough.
otherwise we would have probably just went 15.
Yeah, it was a bit of a reverse sweep as well, right? Because they were on match point there. I think they had 2-1 against you, and you just
Yeah.
got the last 2 games in a row. So you must be feeling pretty good about yourselves right now.
Well, yeah, feels very nice.
Pretty rough to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really hard. They played so well. They punished me so much early game. King.
Yeah, he was destroying
King-
you.
Every time I play gun, I get 3 brutes on 6 and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Not
that is
very
really rough.
friendly.
But yeah,
I'm-
we managed to pull through.
I'm just not holding that wave ever, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Every
the
game.
thing. With the new wave 6, when you get a big send, it's just so hard to hold. Because the mercs also do more damage, right? So
Yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
saw a
watching
few
it.
triple brutes on 6, just demolishing some builds.
Yeah, your poor Canopy getting 4
Yeah,
rockers
I was
debuffing it, 3
I was
brutes debuffing it.
I was oh, we can skip. I have Canopy. Boomed 3 brutes.
Yeah, that canopy was
Yeah.
not long for the world. It died very, very quickly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any final words from the casters? Any final questions? Off Moskovtrold, both happy with that? Drakir and Lucy, any final words from you guys?
Not really.
I don't think
Just
so.
thanks for the tourneys once again. Thanks to all the casters and organizers. Doing a phenomenal job as always.
Thank you, dude. That's very kind. And I guess before we go then, I just have to say the usual shout out. So massive thanks to my glorious co-casters Offma and Skovtroll. They've done a lot of carrying today. I've been a little bit foggy, so thank you to you guys. Thanks to the tournament organisers for everything to make the tournament run smoothly. Thanks to Auto Attack Games for building the game that we all know and love. And massive congratulations to the winners, Drakir and FC Lucy, putting on a hell of a show for us today. Twitch chat, I hope you've enjoyed the show. I know that I have. And make sure you're back in time for the September Nova Cup next month. And if you didn't play this time around, make sure you get yourself signed up, because there's 5 divisions, so there's something for everybody, and it's just really good fun to play. So, yep, it's been great. I hope you've enjoyed the show. But for now, that's everything we have time for on this August Nova Cup, and we will see you next month. Goodbye.
Bye bye.